Friday, the weekend is here. Good evening, everyone. Lovely to see you. Hopefully, for what is going to be a cracking Darmstadt stream. We'll get you up to date in a little while as to our little bit of goal-scoring woes that we had to deal with yesterday. And we can head straight into the Hessen derby. That's the derby between Darmstadt and Frankfurt, which is our first game. And then, hopefully, we might actually be able to solve our goal-scoring issues. Let's say hello to you glorious, glorious people. We've just got a little bit of H-Tank 30 in. Welcome in, my dude. Glad to hear that you're starting to feel better. Levi is here. Levi was at the PSV Juventus game on, was it Wednesday? Or was it Tuesday? It was Wednesday. It was definitely Wednesday. What an incredible result, knocking out the old lady. And next up is Gunnosaurus and his band of dark hearts, set-piece bastards. I think that's what they call them. That's the official full name of the Arsenal squad, is Gunnosaurus and the Dark Art set-piece bastards. I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. Already talking nonsense, and we're barely a minute in. Welcome in as well. We've got Zerachul in. We've got Knight of Knee in as well. Knight of Knee returned to judo yesterday and is understandably achy and sore. That is a bold choice. I mean, I am not surprised. I hope the weekend is going to be for recovering and letting those muscles rest a little bit. We've also got Hungdamin in. Welcome in, Hungdamin. We've got DM Bassist, or we will have DM Bassist in a little while. Lovely to see you, my dude. Crudmo is here. Welcome in. Red App is here as well, as is Johnny Trotter. We've got a little bit of Cyril over on YouTube. Lovely to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Lumi is in. Medical Car is here. Winkinator, how are you all? Lovely to see you. We've got Eunice Gaming in as well. Good evening indeed. Brooman is here as well. Lovely to see you, Brooman. Long time no see. I do apologise, but I need to diversify my streaming times a little bit more so that I can be more flexible to everyone, because I do appreciate that it can be tricky to come along. So Cyril's had a tiring week from school, so going to take it easy. It is the weekend. So it's a chance to relax, get a lie in tomorrow. Hopefully, do as little as possible. So it is the hat and hoodie combo. It's not even cold tonight either. It's not cold at all. But I had a little nap, and I like the fact that it kind of hides those post-nap bags. So that's the plan of action. All right, let's head in. We'll explain just a little bit of what's gone on since last night. So thank you very much for the hydrate, Johnny, by the way. So, we had our opening games of our first Bundesliga campaign. We were promoted last week, and we kicked off with a pretty interesting set of games. We drew, and then we drew again. Then we got absolutely annihilated, 6-0 by Dortmund at home, and then we kept on drawing until we ended the stream on a high with a 1-0, was it like 74th minute winner against Heidenheim. So we currently sit in 11th, which, you know, if we can maintain this run of just above 1 point a game, we might be all right. We would benefit, I imagine, from possibly scoring more than 2 goals for every 8 games, but, you know, a 1 in 4, that's not the worst, right? That's not the worst. So if we take a look at some of the previous seasons, it's been 31 points, 28, 25, 29, 36, 35. So in recent years, 1 point a game is probably enough to stay up. Now, obviously, we'd like to aim for a little bit more than that, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers and whatnot. Nia's back. Welcome, my dude. Winkinator, it was a top week for Dutch football. 4 out of 5 teams are through to the last 16. Indeed, it all kind of fell away. Ajax with the extra time winner as well. Incredible. Hungdamin has faith in PSV beating Arsenal, which is good to hear. Lumi wants me to remove the cap. It keeps me safe. It hides my bags. We have Knees here for relaxing times. I'll try my best. I can't make any promises. Right, Sega's in. Welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. And We had a little bit of a redeem from Lumi for some mini-game action. So let's head on over. We'll play a round of Guess the Player, and then we're straight in. So all I've done, by the way, is I've just moved us forward until Saturday the 27th. So we'll be straight into the game away from home. A derby, the Hessen derby, it is called, against Eintracht Frankfurt. But before we do that, let's head on over here. So I'll explain to you how Guess the Player works, just in case you haven't been here before. A relatively straightforward concept. You're going to see 4 pictures of a player's profile in Football Manager 24, one after the other. You've got to work out who the player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get, and those points get you on that lovely little scoreboard down there. Now, this is a player's profile from the beginning of FM24 on the default database. So if you've got a player like Joshua Zirkzee, he will be at Bologna rather than the move that he made over the over the summer. I couldn't remember the word summer. That bodes well, doesn't it? To Manchester United. So just keep that in mind when you see the player's career history. Right, so let's head on in and see our very first clue. We've got some guesses that have come in. We've got guess for Wilfred Boomer. Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? We've got an early guess for Pogba. We've got a guess for Luke de Jong and for Wilfried Zaha. It's sadly none of those players. Welcome in, El Norby, by the way. Lovely to see you, my dude. Lovely to see you. It's draw ball then to remain in the Bundesliga. It is. It is. Right, so we've got some guesses coming in, some proper guesses coming in now. Zerachel's gone for Goretzka, Codmo's gone for Tielemans, Hungerman's gone for Ndidi. We've got Madison, another for Ndidi. We've got Decore, we've got Fede Valverde, we've got Sarr, and we've got Kante. Some fantastic guesses, absolutely fantastic guesses. Welcome in, by the way, out, Farby. Lovely to see you there. Well, Sega, you asked about PSG Liverpool. Remind me after the game as well. So could it be Gavi or Pape Matar again? Elliot, Musa, Decore, any Decore, fair enough. We haven't got it yet though, I'm afraid. So let's head on over to the next clue, see what can do. We've got this box-to-box midfielder who's elite at taking penalties, kind of pretty solid at everything else, good in all kinds of ways. I mean, what's his weaknesses are corner taking, finishing, free kick taking, heading, and long throws. Otherwise, really, really good across the board. So could it be Fred? It's not Fred. It's not Nevs. It's not Oliver Skip or Fabian Ruiz. Could it be Barella or Eric Dyer or Coop Miners? Fabian Ruiz, Naby Keita, Ederson. Another guess for Valverde in there as well. These are all some fantastic guesses, but they're not right, unfortunately. Could it be Konrad Laimer? Not Konrad Laimer. This player is tall. Well noticed, Lumi. 6'2" and 12 stone. I mean, that's probably around right. So it's not like really, really big or really, really like skinny either. He's got 14 jumping reach indeed. So could it be Kuka or Musa or Maro or Fellaini? Maybe it could be Quentin Timber or Kramaric or Fabio Vieira or Fofana. These are some fantastic guesses coming in, but we're not right so far, unfortunately. By the way, welcome in, Mike. Lovely to see you, my dude. 5-all draw might well be coming at the rate that we're going. So we've got some guesses from Quadmo of Socrates, naturally. Could it be Xhaka, Zakaria? Sega comes in with Bentaleb as well. Jorginho, Stein. Sega said Bentaleb again, and Bentaleb again, because this is a good League player. So that kind of does narrow it down. Winkinator saying it's for Bentaleb now as well. It is, of course, Bentaleb. It is absolutely Nabil Bentaleb. As we go on here, it's the former Lille player, the hero of Newcastle, Nabil Bentaleb. Lukamar coming in with a no. I predicted it. It was indeed. I saved it for the end of the week. I'm so sorry, Lukamar. I was expecting you to pick it up, but it's Sega who comes in with a phenomenal 2 points there. It is, of course, Nabil Bentaleb. And the applause is coming in from Zerachel, from Levi, from Johnny Trotter, from Medical Car. We've got clapping emoji from Lumi, from El Norby. It was so obvious to Zerachel. It's always, hindsight is wonderful, isn't it? It is always wonderful. But some fantastic work there. The glorious. It's such a good, feel-good week for Nabil Bentaleb. Right, let's head in let's head into the game. We start off with a game against Eintracht Frankfurt, who are beneath us in the league. They do have a positive goal difference, but they've picked up 8 points from 8 games. They're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1. So I'm going to ask Nürnberger to mark the attacking midfielder central, which will be Behoyer. And we're going to keep these guys on cover around the outside. We do have some variants to work towards. We've got a couple of 2 striker systems in case we need to change. So hopefully, we can get something out of this game. Otherwise, we're pretty much in the same state as usual. Do we start Schiffel? I think Schiffel comes back from his injury, comes straight into the starting lineup. We've pushed Rashidi into the starting lineup to award him for scoring the winning goal in the last game. But otherwise, and Davy Selke is come back into the starting lineup as well. So we gave him a rest from the start, see if that maybe gives him a proverbial kick up the arse ahead of the big game. Let's do this. So Lumi's got to go head off now. At least you were around for the mini game. Now it makes sense. Come in, get the mini game, and then you can pop back in for the points in an hour's time. Beautiful stuff. That is some beautiful stuff. Let's see. It's a fan. This has to be a fans thing. I have faith in all of you. And so, Tyreek George fan, that isn't who I think it is at sub spot 8. If you were talking about Keenan Davis, it is indeed who you think it is, because Ellis Sims is out for 6 months yesterday. I think it was the second game of the season. He ended up out injured. So we've brought in Keenan Davis as our emergency third choice. Artem Stefanov is our backup striker. So it's not going to be Keenan Davis is on loan. We're paying only 50% of his wages. No fee. So thankfully we should be not relying on him too much. I hope. So El Norby, I won't be here for long. Joskior have a 7 p.m. kickoff with the interim manager. I need to beat dinner before that. I don't blame you at all, sir. I do not blame you at all. Good luck for the game tonight. Crodmo has had a realization. It's Friday. And as we know, Fridays are for DILFs. It is indeed DILF night. I do wonder what DILF Destroyer is up to. DILF Destroyer, if you have ever ended up watching the VODs back, or you might be a secret fan now, lovely to have you in. Right, first highlight is a Frankfurt chance. It's a flicked on header at the near post. They probably should have done better there, but it's been pretty even so far. Both teams, a couple of shots. But is this Frankfurt looking to turn the statistics?
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you out, Farby. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you, my dude. Haven't been able to tune as much lately, but always glad to support. I really do appreciate it. I get that life is busy, but when we hopefully we can bring back some of those weekend streams, because I've finally got King of the Castle set up, but I want you to be there when we play it. So depending on how it goes tonight, if we end up feeling really, really rubbish because we can't win games and we keep on losing, maybe we'll switch over at some point. But certainly I do want to get that in at some point at a weekend stream. So it's not the needle. How do you balance a DILF? Good question, H-Tank. How do you balance a DILF? Generally, I think you interlock and then just make sure you're stable. There's an image for you. Right, I'm pretty happy with that. Yes, they've had two decent chances. That header, that save as well from Sahinovic. But we're away from home against a team that are better than us. We've had 75% of the ball, which is crazy. So I'm going to criticise because we're not getting any chances out of that. That does say let's increase our tolerance for risk a little bit, and let's head on in.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
You tell me, indeed. Bless you, H-Tank. That's resubscribed for 6 months. Tier 1, what an absolute star. 5 months of subbing to Quadmod with special appearances from some guy named Musterman. Exactly. Wow, Oh, bless you. Bless you very, very much, my dude. Koratiba is in as well. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Crudmod says we're definitely going to bore our way to safety, aren't we? It looks that way. It looks that way. Now, as I said, we do have some two-striker formations kind of there sitting away hidden a little bit so that we can change them. I don't want to risk it, though, at the moment. That's part of the problem. Schifferl intercepts from the kickoff, and that's okay. Let's see what's happening in the second half. We've gone to positive, and it looks like we're going to see a chance for Frankfurt straight away. So Catty plays it to Scary to Jens. Jens creates some space down the right, sends in the cross. Lovely little digged out cross. Haugaard wins the header, but it's over. So are we seeing momentum shift as a result of that change? Maybe, maybe not. We've got a knock to Muller, so we're going to have to make some changes there, I think. It did say they made 3 changes. Gullikson, Hugard, and Sarkatioff, bringing off a centre-back. Bold decision. Right, Muller's knock means that we're going to bring on... We're going to bring on... Do we go attacking now? Do we? Yeah, let's do it. So let's not use that one. Let's use... Oh, that's... Oh, it looks like I've saved both of them as the same thing. So that wasn't the plan. But actually, yeah, we can work with this. So if we've got Davis on there, that means that we're going to put Brooks out on the left. Esser and Linson in the midfield. And then we look at... Yeah, let's swap that to the left one. Target forward here, poacher here. Let's go for it. Let's chase this a little bit, and then if we get overrun, we can bring on a normal central midfielder to give us a little bit more stability in the centre. Here we go. Here's a corner straight away. Marquinhos in at the near post. Schmidt gets there first, but bobs him from the edge of the area straight at Sahinovic. Surely either side of the keeper, and that would have been a goal. Rashidi picks up a yellow card. He's off. Tackles my dude. And yet we have certainly lost a little bit of momentum there. A lot of momentum there. Right, here we go. Here's Bobson. Back to Koch. Koch all the way back to the keeper. Pandur. Plenty of time. We're not going to put any pressure on him there. Koch finds Skiri. Skiri's going to send it out left to Herald. Behoya off his man. Finds Mamouche. Mamouche driving to the byline. Cuts back. Finds Herald on the edge of the area. And that's over. That's over. Drop to balanced. And our last set of changes here. Let's pause. Our next set of changes. We've got loads of changes to go. Right. Guy on. We will go with Mbamba at the heart of the midfield. Schifferl, we'll need to ask him to... Oh, no, we'll ask him to ease off tackles. There we go. That should be all right. They're both motivated. Don't need to say any more. Should be absolutely fine. So, Mike, is the opposition AI smart enough to have the AM, your man marking, drift wide and act as a decoy? Or does the marking work most of the times? Well, I don't mind if it... No, the AI doesn't really react to what you're doing per se. But even if they do drift wide, that would have been great, even with the 4-2-3-1, because it's all about making sure that if the Clinton, that was a chance.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you, El Norby. That's a gift subscription to Footy2FM. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind. So part of the reason why I want him to man mark is because if the attacking midfielder goes to a different side than we would normally expect. Come on, Linson, header's just over. I want him to be followed because the handoff tends to be a really, really dangerous situation, I find, where it goes from when the opposition attacking midfielder drifts between our two defensive midfielders and they don't know who's going to pick him up. That's what I'm trying to eliminate anyway. So even if the AI did do that, it would be great. Right, last change. Selke is coming off. It's going to be Skitter on. Skitter is coming on as a false 9 now. And do we bring off Brooks as well?
It's not the statistics! You tell me! How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, bless you, Adam. Welcome in, my dude. Thank you very much. Resubscribe for 6 months at tier 1. What an incredible gentleman. Here we go then. So, Bunch on, Skitter on. There we go. Let's see if we can keep that pressure on. We've got a little bit less physicality up front now, but a bit more craft. So that's part of the reason why we brought Skitter in, was because he could play up front. A 0-0 wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's boring. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I've got to be happy with that. An away point against a rival. Yeah, we can do all right with that. Our goalkeeper got man of the match despite them apparently not having a shot on target. I mean, they did have a shot on target. They had that one that he saved in the first half, and that chance from a corner that went straight at him. But yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Well done, lads. Yeah. So that keeps us in 11th. Solid. Boring, but solid. So let's pop these guys on a little bit of a rest. And then we've got a game against Union Berlin in the Cup. We drew with Union Berlin, shock horror, with the opening league game of the season. We will use this game probably to try that 2 up top from the start of the game. And we will bring in a lot of the fringe players for it as well. Sure, it's a game that we could, on paper, it's a very, very winnable game, but we're not realistically fighting for the Cup. It is a distraction, even if it's not that many rounds. I don't mind us being knocked out, so it's a good chance to experiment, see what happens there. We won't use any of our reserves, therefore, in the friendly match for the second team. So Crudmod sends you love and good wishes to H-Tank for supporting his friend Mr. Musterman. Bless you. We all know it's a Crudmod stream with a little bit of Musterman. I mean, yes, I agree. However, I have warned you about this before. Don't feed the Crudmo. It's a scary, scary thing to do. D-Balzen, welcome in, my dude. How are you? Lovely to see you. So Mike reckons I should change my name to the Tinkerman. Quite possibly. Coatiba, I miss one stream and the squad is completely different. It is indeed, Coatiba. Let's do those things. So Lukmar's asked to see the XG table. That we can do nice and quickly. We're starting to revert back to where we were. At one point, we were up in 7th in the XG table, but we're currently about right. We have scored 2 goals from 7 XG. We've conceded 7 goals from 7 XG. So generally speaking, if we took that Dortmund game out of the equation, so against Dortmund, we lost 6-0 at home from 1.68 XG. In fact, oh, bugger off. So after that game between Dortmund and us, Dortmund would have had plus 4.5 goals on that XG. So it looks like in every game apart from us, they've wildly underperformed their XG, because they're now back down to 0. We've wildly underperformed ours. It might be the risk of sticking with Davy Selke. So let's introduce you to the new signings. We did on Monday. We identified a few players that we were looking at. So we bought in Andre Brooks on a free transfer. Now he's just kind of an all-round good guy. Can play at left wing back, can play defensive midfield, central midfield, attacking midfield. Gives us a lot of flexibility. Comes in pretty decent, 15 grand a week, which is nice. Just a solid all-round player. And the other player we signed on Monday was Artem Stefanov. Now, Artem Stefanov hasn't played that much. This wasn't a database signing. This was based on the scouts saying that he might be okay. He might become a decent player. He was meant to be our third choice striker there in case, maybe Ellis Sims ends up with an injury for 6 months. So he's going to be a bit part player on the fringes, but getting game time every now and then, and we'll see how it works out. The other players we identified on Monday was Raphael Schiffel. We signed him for 2 million from Wolfsberger. As we can see, he wins his tackles, he wins his headers. He's slotted straight in and been one of our best players. Really, really good. Who else did we sign? We signed Nathan Skitter. Nathan Skitter was another player we identified on Monday. He was playing in Ligue 2 for Brest. He was doing pretty well, around 0.3 XA, about 0.15 goals per 90. He's there to be backup to Roman Essa, someone who can play a little bit further forwards if needs be as well. But he's picked up an injury early on in the season, was out for like 4 to 5 weeks, and we're still trying to incorporate him into the team. And then finally, we've got a new goalkeeper, Mohamed Sahinovic. Mohamed Sahinovic conceded a load of goals against Dortmund, but still has a positive XG prevented. He was relegated last year with Fortuna Dusseldorf, and that meant that we could sign him for a 1.4 million release clause, which is rather nice. And finally, we've got Christian Nockvik-Linsen. Now, Linsen didn't meet the minutes threshold. He was only used as a substitute, played something like 600 minutes for Ipswich last season. But the previous seasons, his 12 goal contributions and 17 starts, 11 goal contributions and 13 starts, he's shown that he can be effective when he plays, although maybe not, because he's only currently at 0.09 XA after 756 minutes, which is a little worrying. So we might have got that one wrong. Johnny Trotter says you draw some. Exactly. That is going to be the way it is, I think, for all of this stream. Hopefully we can get one more win. We'll score again. Don't know where, don't know when. I can't hit that note, but I know we'll score again some sunny day. Indeed. So we're still in front of Frankfurt. We're 1 point ahead of them. Stayed on 11th, which is good. Sego asks, what's your take on Liverpool PSG and Aston Villa Brugge? I'm really excited that we're going to be playing against Brugge again. Chance for revenge after losing in the table, the league stage of the competition. So that should be quite fun. Liverpool PSG, yeah. I mean, I find I'm more excited by those fringe games, though. The teams that we're not expecting to win, Liverpool, PSG, they're both good teams. They're both going to be quite fancied. But yeah, whilst we still have some small teams in, like Villa, like Brugge, that kind of where my excitement lies at the moment. Apsicarden's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? Have we won a game yet? I got halfway through the VOD of the last stream and have come in to this one later. We did win a game right at the end. We beat Heidenheim 1-0. And it's always good to try and finish on a high. We want to finish on a high. So as soon as we won, we're like, that's it, cool. Yeah, we're happy. Yes, we have a win. We've only lost one game, which is, pretty decent. We played really, really well in a draw against Leipzig. We're atrocious against Dortmund, but we can ignore that. Right, Dan Basis is back. Welcome in, my dude. Lads, and maybe lasses. Exactly. I saw something about Selke. You live by the Selke, you die by the Selke. We do indeed a little bit. His form's not been too awful, to be fair. But let's make some changes. That's going to be... What was the change I wanted? Was something a little bit more... What were we doing at Pauk? It was a deep lying forward and an advanced forward, right? Advanced playmaker support. It's a deep lying forward on attack from a player that would otherwise normally be...
It's not the statistics! You tell me! somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle.
Oh, look, Ma, did you create the It's Not the Statistics account as well? What a genius. You are. It's not the statistics. It's not. Incredible stuff. Incredible. So with Pauk, we had the creative attacker. That was Zivkovic's role. And then we had an advanced forward alongside them, but obviously we don't really. I wouldn't want to play Selko as an advanced forward. So I'm thinking we go Skitter as a deep line forward. Stefanov gets the start there. We're going to keep Linson in. Let's see if he can how he copes, because he needs to get into a little bit of form. Bamba in, Guy in, Tubek will start. Are they playing? Yep, they are. That's cool. So we don't want to mark. There is no attacking midfielder to mark in that case. Guido as no, Bonch will start. Bonch will start. We're going to give these guys spots on the bench. Guido for Brooks. Schiffel's on the bench. So actually we're going Mousehound and Tubek. We're going to keep Avia in. We're going to start Sauter. No, we're not going to start Sauter. So Selke, Esse, and Brooks can all rest on the bench. Think that's all right? Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Kujakov had a great game against us last time. Now I remember. Yes. Yes, I remember. You've got nothing to lose. I trust you. We'll go with that. We will go with that. Cool. By the way, thank you very much for the follow, Foosh66 and Eddie0843. Lovely to have you guys in. So 1 win, 7 draws, 1 loss. That's right. That's right. 2 wins technically. We won in the cup as well. I'm going to have to start. I've been ignoring the first round of the cup because it was against a non-league team, but I think we might have to start paying attention to it. Whilst that counts as 50% of our wins that season. So if you can't handle him at his worst, you don't deserve him at his best. Such is the way of the Selke. Exactly. Exactly. We're going to 0-0 the league. Welcome in, Mr. Grizzly P. How you doing, my dude? Skitter over. Oh, whoa, that was a lovely ball over the top. It was offside. It was offside, but it was a lovely, lovely ball. So who did we beat, Carden? We beat Heidenheim. So, yep, Krobmo's already got in there. And who did we lose to? We lost to Dortmund 6-0 at home. Painful. So painful. Right, Jim is in. Welcome in, Milanek. Lovely to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Krobmo loves a bit of Vera Lynn on a Friday night. That's your mistake, Krobmo. I think we've established... Oh, here comes Chemline. Chemline saved. Yes, so Vera Lynn should be for Thursday nights. As we established, Thursday nights is for... Was it Wednesdays are for Gilfs? It might have been Wednesday nights, actually. But yes, indeed. Chris is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you doing? How are you doing? Lovely to see you, my man. Tyreek George fan, we've got the big question today, which is how do people feel about multi-club ownerships? So as you may have seen, 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, who are the majority owners of Leeds United, are apparently in talks with Rangers to acquire them as well. So they could be the latest in a line of weird multi-club merger things. Leeds in particular is weird because they have the Red Bull thing going on as well. So Tyreek George fan, a Chelsea fan, understandably is quite a big fan. Why might that be, Tyreek George fan? Cadra gives them the lead. It's a ball over the top. So Dookie into style. Here's Vertessen. Vertessen has time to play the ball over. It's a lovely ball to the left winger. Guy nowhere near him. Mousehound doesn't come out. It's a lovely finish. That's a shame. So it's not the statistics asked. Do you see anyone stopping Madrid from winning the Champions League? Yes, Madrid. they could well go on to win it. I mean, obviously they're one of the favourites for good reason. But at the same time, we know that they're capable of just having an absolutely awful game every now and then out of nowhere. And that's going to be the kind of thing that you worry will torpedo their chances. Right, Hlinson, back to Tubek. Tubek to Mbamba, to Bonch, Skitter. Run down there was space, Muller. Damn you, Muller. Avir, back into Skitter. Skitter's going to finally be... Okay, that was all right. He was heavily marked. Here's Skitter, cuts it to Stefanov. Stefanov back to Bonch. Mbamba, we're making hard work of this, that's for sure. But Skitter's going to get there, sends the cross in. Bono cuts it out. Is that not the highlight? It is. It was a bit of a rubbish highlight, let's be fair. So, Mike, what's the highest number of draws you got in a season? You had 17 in 34 games, mostly 0-0. My team put everyone to sleep. I don't know what my most draws in a season is, but it looks like we're on course for something around that. That's for sure. Quite incredible. Right, so it is the statistic. It's not the statistics exactly. It is the statistics. Right, you got to type something, or he'll actually think it's my second account, or he'll think it's actually my second account. I mean, I'm all in favour. We were talking about this yesterday, right? Like, I should have done it myself. I'm disappointed. Right, so Carden, watching this save has made me return to your Chemie Leipzig save. Currently mid-table after January in the third division in 2029. Really struggling to get back to the Zweite Bundesliga after relegation last season. Chemie Leipzig are a good team to play with. Great story. Seeing if you can eventually usurp the evil Red Bull side. That should be quite fun. So the only football club in my birth city of Leipzig. Exactly, Lukmar. There is no other cam line shoots over, no other club in Leipzig. DM Basis says multi-club ownership's a fucking wank, and I say this as a Rangers fan. That's a fair point. We'll see how it is 4 years down the line, perhaps. Once they've bought success and you're absolutely blowing Celtic out the water and you're winning European trophies, you'll all be for it, I'm sure. So Tyreek George fan, you're not a Chelsea fan? I thought you were. With a name like Tyreek George fan, and a Strasbourg fan, and everyone else as well. All right, show me something else. We've had a couple of chances that have fallen to Skitter. Clinton still not having a great time of things at the moment. Let's try this the other way round. Lots of things we can play around with here. Support, attack. With him on support, let's try him on attack. Probably let's take Rome from position now. Right, so I do need to let you guys know I have changed the ads around a little bit. So they will run every 45 minutes. I'm going to take a break every second ad break, basically, so that we have slightly longer stretches. Obviously, those who will get the ad breaks probably can't hear me now because that ad break has started. But yeah, so that we can try and get a little bit more of a run in. Right, whole position there. Swap these two around. Let's pop these guys back as wide centre backs. But the other thing I wanted to try is having them closed down less so that they can be there to perhaps react if the central centre back loses out. Not going to make any changes at the break though. Let's see how we go. So Lukmar says, I don't think I have to say it, but still I despise it with every fibre of my heart. I expected that as well. Rich concurs. Welcome in, Rich. I hope you're doing well. El Norby agrees. Crodmo says he doesn't think it matters. Football's fucked now anyway, and has been for decades. I mean, that's a very, very negative take, and I can't disagree with you. I still blame Man United entirely for the formation of the Premier League, which I consider to be the starting point of the rot. Right, Kemline, it's a tackle from Tubeck. He wins the ball so cleanly, so remarkably cleanly. Like the player, disgraceful. Disgraceful. Vidovic to make it 2-0. Vidovic does make it 2-0. We've been worse this second half since making those changes. But we'll stick with it. It's all about learning at the moment. That's why we used it for...
It's not the statistics! It's not the statistics! You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Chris Norton Walker with the resubscription with the Prime. You absolute darling. Thank you very much, my dude. Really, really appreciate it. Right, so Mbamba across to Avila. We haven't had a shot in the second half yet. Is that about to change? As Stefanov, great space, feeds Muller. Muller runs away from goal. Stefanov hits the inside of the post. We are very, very good at finding the post at the moment. That does seem to be a feature of us this season. I think that maybe only like the 6th or 7th time, but it does seem to happen a lot. As Artem Stefanov gets his first goal for the club, rising to head it in at the far post, and it's game back on. Game back on. So maybe that's the problems. I just need to put it on attacking. Who would have thought that might solve our issues with scoring goals, eh? Stefanov at the far post, pretty straightforward. Not too bad there. We will make some changes in a couple of moments. Let's see what happens with this highlight. Avila wins the header. Skitter skips away from his man, drives down the side. Can he create space? He finds Mbamba, and Mbamba feeds Stefanov. Stefanov, oh, on the turn. It was a great chance. A great chance. Right, who are the tired players? The tired players are Mbamba. So he's going to be replaced by Nürnberger. Guy is going to be replaced by Rashidi. And Hlinson is going to be replaced by Uda. Let's bring Uda on there. And then we will probably play around with the other two striking options a little bit later. Last 15 minutes or so. Last 15 minutes. Here's Skitter. Skitter back inside. He can't quite do it. He does find Uda. Uda finds Muller. Muller turns away, finds Avila. Come on, someone. Come on. Stop. I'm sure I've got Cross more often on the wing backs as well. I do. They just refuse. They refuse. Right, the last set of changes. Muller is tiring now. In fact, all the tired players are out wide. So let's go with Forkel up front, like so. And we'll stick with Bonch. Now we're just going with Davis and Forkel as the attacking options. Let's try no nonsense centre backing it so that we see if they send it forwards a little bit. Let's say specifically, I want you to distribute to that man there. So don't roll it out anymore. And just push that up to a little bit more direct. Let's get... Oh, I don't know. I didn't look up whether it goes into extra time or whether it's a replay. I hope it's not a replay. If we do get one back. Forkel with the corner. Avir's the target, but there's plenty of Union Berlin players there to get it away. Tubeck outside the area finds Skitter. Right, Nürnberger. Run. You need to get them to make more aggressive runs. Probably look at complete wing back at some point. Here's Uda. His shot's deflected into his own man. Forkel, unfortunately. That is a shame. So Zerachul, I see. Oh my word. I am so far behind on chat. I do apologise, guys. Can't wait until Rangers are relocated to someone like Isle of Man for tax reasons. That would be incredible. That would be quite funny. Let's be fair. Yeah, we lost to a penalty. In a competition that I don't really, not really bothered about. So there we go. Always prefer to not lose games, but if we are going to lose games, That's the one I'd like us to lose. And we will go back to our normal approach there. A home game against Stuttgart next. But how about first place Stuttgart, no less? How about we start attacking from the off and see how that goes? So G&G is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. DM Basis is currently making pizza. That sounds amazing. I am jealous. I am very, very jealous. I mean, I can make pizza later, I suppose, but still. Has it got pineapple? It's not got pineapple. It's a plain margarita. Ooh. So when's the Liam Rosenia tactical recreation video dropping? Who knows? Who knows? Nothing against it. I mean, we can focus on how, with arguably one of the most stacked squads in the championship, he couldn't get promotion with Hull. Something like that, right? That's what you want. Right, it has to be said that overall the Germans have an almost perfect attitude to the way they run their football and support it. Best in the world that I've seen of the bigger leagues anyway. That is fair. The 50+1 is a reasonably good setup. Obviously, it's been a little bit more abused in recent years, but you can't knock it, can you? You can't knock it. So Mike asks, how would you apply Moneyball for a team stuck in Premiership mid-table trying to get to the top? Usually you go full Brighton with wonder quids to sell for a profit. So as I've established, if you pop to some of the earlier Moneyball clinic videos, Moneyball has got nothing to do with wonder kids and selling for profit. It's about finding market inefficiency. So players are undervalued by the market. So the way you should be focusing is looking for players that are outliers in statistical areas that you need for the position that they play. So you might be looking at wingers who can only cross. That's the only thing they offer is dribbling and crossing. And subsequently, maybe they don't have elite pace, but they're getting the chances. They're creating them nonetheless. So you find that they will be a little bit cheaper. And that's the way that you find ways of finding players with lower wage demand that can allow you to compete. So DM Basis says, correct on your point regarding German football, except Leipzig. Fuck Leipzig. And Bayern to an extent, let's be fair. Right, look, Mars says, which explains the vitriol and attitudes towards RB and Hoffenheim and the like. Indeed. Right, our next game, Stuttgart today. Here we go. Muller wants a new contract. Muller, you really should... I mean, I was going to say you really should prove that you're worth it. It kind of is. What is the deal? What is the deal that they're wanting? Looking at a few options. 17k potentially is decent. You don't get to choose that, though. We will say squad player as well. Squad player to regular starter. You need to be getting some assists. Maybe a unlikely amount of assists, like that. No, there we go. That's cool. So discuss new contract. There needs to be a, we've just discussed this and we disagree. You have to earn it on the pitch. There we go. Now that is, I think, our main recruitment focus is for a left wing back anyway, because I'm not convinced he's the long-term solution. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come back begging at some point, or they'll be really unhappy and completely utterly upset the balance. Right, so DM Basis says, if it's any consolation, my go-to Friday night pizza is pineapple and jalapeno from Domino's, but I'm poor at the moment, so it's standard store-bought margarita, or however you spell it. That is pretty fair. I like sweetness on my pizzas, so onions, pineapple, jalapenos would be lovely as well. But a plain margarita pizza is pretty damn banging. Actually, my go-to pizza when I lived in Leeds, like back when I was like 20, there was a takeaway right at the end of my street. A takeaway that didn't do delivery, and any pizza, any size was £3.80. I blame it for why I'm such a fat bastard. I would just have onions. So it'd just be a plain cheese and tomato pizza with onion. Absolutely banging. Right, so our standard starting lineup: Schiffel, Schmidt, Avia. Guy was at fault for their first goal, so we will stick with Rashidi. I like Namberger and Brooks as the pivot. That's Muller then on the left. We are going to see what happens if we play Essa on the right. Skitter gets the start. I quite liked. I thought Skitter looked lively in that game against Berlin. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stefanov can probably feel hard done by. He did score, but we've got to go back to Davy Selke, and that's part of the reason why we rested him in the first place. It's a 4-3-3 again, so I don't need him marking a specific player, which is cool. Let's do this. Right, I do apologize. By the way, if you've popped something in chat and I've missed it, please feel free to pop it in chat again. I obviously dropped a long way behind, so I'm just gonna skip ahead. So Lukmar's saying, what makes Red Bull a little more disgusting than the other artificial clubs in the eyes of a lot of fans is the deliberate marketing and an explicit mission statement to boost dogshit energy drink sales. That's fair. That is fair. Eunice is back. How was that game against Union Berlin? It's a pretty even game. We created a decent amount of chances. We ultimately lost to a penalty that didn't look like a penalty to me, but there was the text at the bottom didn't suggest there was any controversy about the penalty decision. So yeah, we're out of a cup that I'm not too fussed about. On to the league. Let's see if we can put first place Stuttgart to the sword. I'm sure we can. Nice easy game, right? Right, Skitter intercepts. Skitter shoots from distance, and that's over. It's Seaman in goal as well. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely agree, Lukmar. I mean, I'm sure there was something. It's weird, right? Because like you've got someone like Roman Abramovich, who I wouldn't say I've got a particularly favourable view of, but as an individual bankrolling clubs, I feel less weird about that than I do about the idea of a corporation like Red Bull using it as a vehicle to sell shit. So I'm completely on board. Right, Rashidi sends it back to Essa. What can Essa do here? Essa is going to send the cross in. Davy Selke! Davy, come on, Davy's the answer. Because you may be a striker and you score for Darmstadt. Davy Selke. I may have got carried away there. It's only 7 minutes in. There's plenty of time for Stuttgart to come back, but we have the lead. That is our third goal in the league this season. Here's Rashidi. Can we do something straight away? Answer! Roman essay is so goddamn clean. I told him score a goal, and that's exactly where he's been. And he's just perfect for SV Darmstadt. I told him score a goal, and that's exactly where he's at. Oh god, it's another highlight straight from kickoff. Is this going to be like some crazy like 6-5 game? It's going to be like the Dortmund game where every shot on target goes in. But so far that's 2 for us. And that's what matters most. Now, don't get me wrong. I did notice Night of Knee. I noticed you suggesting a can of tuna on top of a plain pizza. I'm afraid I can't be abiding by that. I mean, that's just because I don't like fish of any sort. But yeah, I'm sure if you do like fish, it makes sense. But right, Muller, can he send in a cross? Can we make it 3 in as many seconds? Selke almost did. Selke almost did. What a start to this game it's been. Incredible. Somebody suggested Doritos pizza, Brazilian pizza, Doritos pizza.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Dumb, stand, the goals are here.
It's 3-0. It's 3-0 after 12 minutes. This is our revenge for the Dortmund game. Granted, we've already created more XG than, well, as much XG as Dortmund did in that game that we lost 6-0. But 3 shots, all on target, all goals. Rashidi's picked up a yellow card. Let's tell him to ease off tackles and see what Stuttgart have in store here. Fort now on the ball, out to Fernandez. Yeah, Doritos pizza sounds crazy. Like, surely, is there other things on the pizza, or is it just pizza with Doritos? I can get it from like a textural standpoint. That crunch must be quite nice. But surely you need something else flavour-wise. Chris is thinking about having a burger. That's a good sound. Nathan Skitter, what on earth is going on?
Dumb, stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Dumb, stand, the goals are here.
Right, Selke loses out in the challenge, but Skitter runs onto it. Thieman's all over the place. Thiemann is all over the place. What on earth is going on? So Sager's asked, have I tried Peruvian food? Richard said, no, tell us more about it. Indeed, tell us more about Peruvian food. So you live in Lima, the food is fascinating, everything is delicious, there's a great variety. What's like a traditional Peruvian dish? A Skitter feeds Schmidt. Was that Selke misses the chance? Oh, what a ridiculous game. What a ridiculous game. Right, I've missed a lot, obviously, with chat is still there. So, Sager's in his future definitely fancy opening a Peruvian restaurant in Europe. Yes, definitely. But yeah, what would you describe as the traditional, like if you're opening that restaurant, what would be your signature dish? The thing that you say, this is Peru. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. Let's say that. You guys are absolutely sensational. What an incredible half. Now, Schiffer has taken a knock, so we are going to make that change. That's going to be 2-bet coming on. And we will probably need to bring off Rashidi at some point. So, let's bring off Rashidi now. That's the right-hand side that's being changed. Let's just see if we can keep things going as they are. I should have checked whether Stuttgart made any major changes. They haven't. They've brought on Wagnerman for Mittelstadt. Right, Skitter with a free kick to make it 5. Narrowly over. That's a couple of good-looking free kicks that just haven't quite been able to get on target. Brooks now to Avia. Muller. Back to Avia. Muller. Brooks. They're just going to pass it between them. They're toying with Stuttgart right now. Muller sends the cross in. There's a lot of whip on that, and Esser's header is over. Right, so search up things like Lomo Saltado or Ceviche Limeño. They sound exciting. Johnny Trotter, semen is all over the place. Sounds like quite a pie. It does. Ceviche, I think, Ceviche is Peruvian. It seems so. We have that type in Norway too. Freaking awesome. We've got lots of fans of Ceviche. Right, Anton. Plays it inside. Yes, he does. Here's Fernandes. Fernandes blocked. SA comes away with it. Tries to play it to Selke, but Selke's not paying attention. So there is a little bit of momentum shift in Stuttgart's favour, as I kind of expect, to be honest. You know, I pressed space to pause. I evidently didn't. So here come the changes for the tired players. We'll make all 3 at once, I think. That's going to see Mousehound on for Nürnberger. I really like him as a defensive midfielder. Skitter can stay on, and it's going to be Selke making way for Stefanov. I don't know what difference I'm expecting you to make. We're just seeing out the game from here. We are absolutely seeing out the game. Sakura Tiba confirmed it is just a plain cheese pizza with cheddar and Doritos. I mean, I can't go wrong with cheddar. I like the idea of cheddar on a pizza. That it's a not a traditional one for sure. Stefanov. Oh, that is the easiest chance we've had all game. Bless the young lad. That might be why they were so happy to get rid of him. Oh dear. So Jonsa suggests looking up a dish called marmi, which is a lovely looking traditional Finnish dish. Okay, that sounds interesting. How would you describe it? Like, what's in it? That would be quite cool. Be descriptive. Nemeth sends it into Bersia. Sahinovic with a great save to protect that clean sheet. Mike says the Stuttgart boys are knackered from a wild night out in town, it seems. Exactly. Well, that's what I told you. Semen is all over the place, Mike. You can read into that what you will. Pisco sour is a nice Peruvian drink. Pisco sour. I do like a sour. That's not bad. That's not bad whatsoever.
Wait for SV Darmstadt, spam the golden motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard Dogs rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
What an incredible game. We had 4 shots on target. We scored 4 goals. We're still massively underperforming our XG for the season, so I don't even feel remotely guilty about it. And that is enough to make us jump up a whole 2 places in the table. But still, 13 points, that's massive. That gets us close, like we're on the right track at least. Right, Schiffel's going to be out for a couple of days. We've got 6 days until the next game, so that's fine. Crazy. We've scored 2 goals in the league so far, and we have tripled that with that result. Absolutely crazy. Now, we have a mystery minigame that was redeemed by Zerachul whilst we were playing, so we're going to head on over and do a little bit of that, which is marvellous. Marvellous. Let's see, what shall we go for? Shall we do something a little different? Something not necessarily new, but changed. Something like a round of Guess the Club. So I've had a little bit of an issue with Guess the Club. It's kind of, I don't think it's quite right. So we're going to change it up a little bit, which means if you're new in, you're just as much as in the dark as all the regulars as well right now. The way Guess the Club is going to work is it's a little bit like the British game show catchphrase. Every now and then, like every few seconds, roughly every, I think maybe it's like 8 or 9 seconds to give you time to guess, a square will be taken away, revealing part of a picture of a stadium. Your job is to guess what the club is that plays at that stadium. And you're going to see eventually, like after a couple of squares have been revealed, the points will drop down to 4 points. After like 2 more squares have been revealed, and so on. So let's head on in and see how we go with this. We're going to see it all does it automatically. It's all timed. So we're going to, in a moment, see a square revealed and start getting your guesses in. The joy of it is there's no harm in just guessing any club until you start to get a few clues that might actually head towards it. Because let's face it, that very first clue isn't going to help you at all. We've got a fence and some seats. We've got some more seats. Now, it's a reasonably small looking stadium, to be honest. So the guesses are starting to come in. We've got Santos, we've got Palmeiras, we've got Melbourne Victory, we've got Venezia, we've got Botafogo, we've got Boca Juniors, we've got Villa Belmiro, Basel. Medical Car has gone for Fiorentina. We've got Guadalajara, Toulouse. Now the guesses are coming in for Anderlecht, Toulouse, Fiorentina, Santos, Penarol, Austria, Vienna, Valladolid. I can tell you that Medical Car was in first. You spotted that small little bit of purple and you pounced. Medical Car. It is, of course, Fiorentina, and it will eventually become revealed once we see there is a single square that just says Fiorentina, which makes it nice and easy to work. Now, I do need to go back and check the tape on it though, because whether you I think you might have just got in there for a 5-pointer right on the cusp. I know there's like a 2-second delay, so even if it's just on the cusp, that will count as a 5-pointer. Beautiful work, sir. Beautiful work from the Fiorentina, from the medical car even. But I can see, like, as soon as people saw that purple, Toulouse, Anderlecht guesses were coming in. Lookmar, oh my God, I've been to that stadium. Why am I so shit at this? I mean, it's the first time, Lookmar, that we've done it this way. So, you know, just claim you were caught off guard. But it's not been a good stream for the mini games for you, with Bentaleb earlier as well. Maybe we'll have something a little. Hopefully later games will go your way. So RJ's in. Welcome in, my dude. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. They really need to do that stadium up. Could be a great stadium. I am genuinely surprised that the Artemio Franchi is kind of underwhelming. I would have thought that it would have been a little bit bigger by now. Like, Fiorentina have had some tough times, but you would have thought that there were expansions on the horizon, right? Yeah, you would have thought there should have been some improvement over the last 20 years or so. Right, so let's head on over. Our next game is going to be against Werder Bremen. I did rest the players, didn't I? Did I rest the players? I can't. There's the tactics. I did rest the players. We're all good. We're all good. I knew it was not Lotto Park. I mean, that's how we go. That should be fine. Just a random wee tower there. I love it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that who was it? I think you see that quite a bit in Italian stadiums, at least. I'm sure when I was looking at maybe Reggiana, they had one. Like, I'm sure there was somewhere else as well where I was drawing one of the stadiums and it has this weird tower, for what I can't seem to work out what the reason is. So Johnson reckons I should look up Mammy and give my initial reaction just based off looks. I'll do so in the break, which is about 15 minutes or so away. My screen, when trying to switch between multiple things, my screen is very, very full. So I try and do it in a little bit more of a control environment, if that's all right. So the mountains in Brussels, fair. They are doing expansions. Good, about time. Cortiba reckons it should have been more purple. I agree. It's a very light purple. You expect that more rich, like almost royal purple that you associate with them. Almost all Italian stadiums are in desperate need of renovation, rebuilding. The trouble is they tend to be owned by the cities, not the clubs, so there's little to no investment. That's fair. DM Basis is always underwhelmed by Italian stadiums when they see them. It's a shame. Again, completely fair. So Werder Bremen Stadium. Did I win? Yes, RJ. Yes. I'm just going to say yes. How are you anyway, my dude? Has it been another... I'm hoping that this week has been a little bit less heavy and exhausting. So when was the last time an Italian club of note got a new stadium? Things are getting decrepit over there. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Who can say? Who can tell me? I'm gonna say, I'm guessing Red App, you might know. What is the last new stadium? So DM Basis reckons it's got to be Juve. Yep, that would track. In fact, yeah, that's probably the only team I could think of. Yeah. Anyone else? Is that back in 2011? That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, stop asking me about Muller. Right. Werder Bremen are bottom of the league. We've played a team who were bottom of the league before. I can't remember who it was at that point. Is it Wolfsburg? Or it might have been... It wasn't Heidenheim. Last time we played bottom of the... It was Köln. It was Köln. We played bottom of the league and we drew 0-0. So let's expect that again. Look at our international duty. Sihinovic, Nürnberger, Nemeth, who's out on loan, Linson as well. We're starting to get a squad that together. That's all right. Tubeck's injured again. That's all right. We've got Mousehound still around, so we still have some depth at centre-back. Nothing to worry about yet. So they own it, you see. They knocked down the Deli Alpi and built a new ground. There we go. RJ, so you're not really tired from work. My body said stop. I had to take a break. Extreme tiredness. Fair enough. I hope that you've been able to enjoy the break at least, and hopefully a chance to feel like, I take it you've had a few days off then, so hopefully this weekend there's a chance for everything to feel back to normal again. Fingers crossed for you. You're recovering slowly. That's good to hear. That is good to hear. So Chromo says Roma, Milan, Inter all tried to build new grounds but have not succeeded yet. Cagliari built a new ground in 2017. That's why I was calling on you, Red App. I knew you would know. There we go. Mike managed Como because of the stadium picture. Overhead view of the stadium, the adjacent Lake Como. Bonus points for Grenoble at the foot of the Alps. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. What's that? There's one which is on an island, which like you look out over the sea, which is quite incredible. I can't think for the life of me who it is though. That's always been one I quite like the look of. Right, Tubeck out. We stick with the same squad, right? We just don't touch anything. We go with the guys that saw us through. We're up against a 4-4-2, so we will make a slight change, which is we're going to ask Schmidt to drop into a cover role, and we're going to keep these guys as they are there. Yeah, let's get this. Monday you go back. Well, hopefully, yes. This weekend is to enjoy before having to face Monday. Yeah, let's go with it. I want you to pick up, and I'm expecting you to perform well. All right, here we go. Las Palmas. That sound quite possibly yes. Geez, that's a new stadium. It's ugly as sin, says the bassist. It's new. That's all that matters. Right? Let's. So, will we follow up a shock 4-0 win against top of the table Stuttgart with an absolute catastrophic defeat at the hands of bottom place Werder? I feel like it's meant to be, right, isn't it? But we do win the ball. Brooks finds Selke. Good tackle, though. Fukancic sends it out to Caicedo. CK running down the line. Skitter picks it up. Plays it back. Nürnberger. Brooks. Come on, get the run down the wing. There we go, Muller back to Brooks. Here's Nürnberger. Rashidi, someone shoot. Rashidi shoots. It was relatively easy, but at least someone shot. Right. Let's see if this encourages them to make the runs when there's space in front of them. I don't want them dribbling, really. I just want them running into that nice big loads of space that's out there and available. Nürnberger with the corner now. He's going to swing it in. Schmidt can't get there. Cortez comes away with it. It's Cortez. He's one-on-one. And the defender... Oh, who are you? You're Rashidi. Rashidi is all to blame for this moment. He does get the block in. But what the fuck was Rashidi doing there? So the Roy Baldwin Stadium is the newest one for sure. Fair enough. Right up. Well, guys, I hope I can still find you here having a great stream. Lovely to see you, my dude. It's lovely having you in. Right, XG Story says that we've had that one chance, which was that Rashidi shot. Otherwise, it has been Werder Bremen. But can we do something about it now? Rashidi trying to find space down the right, plays it back inside to Schiffel, who feeds Rashidi again. Rashidi to Nürnberger. Brooks, Selke forces a save, but it's going to be offside. Doesn't count. That's all right. Mike says there's an Icelandic team that plays at one of the faraway southern islands. Great view, crappy stadium, 500 average attendance. They're one big wave away from relegation. Good FM challenge though. That does sound like a good FM challenge. That would be. I mean, that's why FM needs to get licenses for stadiums as well. Could you imagine playing and actually being able to see the view? It'd be amazing. Right, Muller will come off at half time. We don't want to waste the stoppage if we can avoid it. So Muller, come on, send it in to the far post. Essa gets there, header is over. We seem to be turning the screw a little bit, so let's encourage. That's more of what I want to see. It's not been a classic game by any stretch of the imagination, but that's, again, like draws away from home are great. Rashidi at the far post, looping header onto the roof of the net and behind. And yeah, so have a lovely, lovely evening. Have a great weekend as well. And hopefully see you on Monday. Jonsa says, had an interesting situation in his Hanover save. Your second and third choice keepers were both injured. Your first choice got injured 3 minutes into the game. So your backup under 23s keeper, oh, that would have been nice, had to step in, kept a clean sheet and made some good saves as well. There we go. It's all about, we were saying this yesterday, weren't we? Like, Casillas got his chance because of injuries. And, you know, that's how his path started. No one expected him to be that good initially. And so, pardon me, that's all that was needed, maybe. All that was needed was that opportunity for your under-23 goalkeeper. He almost took it, and Werder Bremen almost sneaking in a goal right at the death there. Big, big chance. I'm not sure what to do here, because I would really like to bring... I don't want booked players on, but Muller needs to come off because he's injured, so that's fine. We keep Brooks on for a while. No, I can't have both of these guys easing off tackles on that side. So I need to make both changes, I think. So that's going to be Mousehound and Bonch. Like that. Yeah, I think so. I think so. We'll go with that and see how we get on in the second half. Yeah, so the under-23 goalkeeper, this is going to be the start of his amazing journey. He will become a Hanover legend in no time. Like Caicedo diving in with a challenge whilst on a yellow card there. A bold decision. Been a pretty even game in so much as both teams have been pretty pap. We will probably maybe look to make a change up front shortly. See what happens here. Bonch, can he play the ball to Esse? He can. Esse's shot is shite. That was bad. That was bad. Right, Skitter now. Back to Avia. Mousehound finds Rashidi. Rashidi very narrow. That's part of the issue with the complete wing back being allowed to roam from position. He's given a penalty, but that's going to become a free kick. There was no way whatsoever that was in the box. Rashidi going on the outside there. Free kick. Yep, there we go. Well, we'll see if there is a highlight from this. There isn't, and then we will look to make a change. That change is going to be Esse's shot. Yeah, Esse's shot means he's the one coming off. On comes Linson. We are going to... I'm going to ask them to overlap. See if that encourages them to do the... Let's go wing backs on attack rather than complete wing backs. So they're not tucking in quite as much and roaming from position, but with overlap to encourage them to actually run into that space. It hasn't worked before, so I don't know why I'm trying it again, but I am. Yeah, go out there. This is a moment for Linson to become a legend. Right, Rich says, Nigel Spink in the 1982 European Cup final, indeed, when Jimmy Rimmer went off after 6 months. 6 minutes, sorry. Selke's shots weak. Not quite as grand a situation. Obviously, that was what made Nigel Spink a hero. The same happened to Spink himself. It was an injury in the League Cup in '94 that kind of opened the door for Mark Bosnich. Oh, that was a good chance. That was a good chance. Yeah, that opened the door for Mark Bosnich, and he never looked back. Schiffel heads over now. We're starting to get some chances. Let's, again, bit of encouragement. I want you to see more of that. Doing those things are good. Right, Nürnberger with a throw-in. Feeds in towards Friedel, cuts it out. Nicely dealt with by Friedel. Here's a chance maybe for Werder to move forwards with the ball. Moretti skips to the side, feeds Holler. Rashidi steps in though, plays it nicely. Oh, Schmidt, what was that? Caicedo running down the left. No fouls, no fouls. Holler with the header, over. Right, I think we're going to be bringing on Stefanov in a moment. Mousehand finds Rashidi. Linson back to Rashidi. Rashidi with the cross. Can Selke do something here? He can't get there. Nürnberger can. Finds Bonch. Bonch just over. We've been better this second half, but 0.75 XG isn't great, let's be fair. So, Skitter's coming off. Forkel's coming on. No, he's not. Skitter's coming off. Stefanov is coming on. There we go. Target forward. Poacher. Let's do it. We're gonna get a late winner. I can feel it. I can feel it. I mean, I can't feel it, but I'm trying to be optimistic. Here goes. Send long. Schmidt steps in. Tries to find Bonch. He does. Now Linson has a chance to run at the defence. Linson finds Rashidi out wide. Not the pass I saw on. There we go. Stepanov gathers. Rashidi shoots. Blocked. And Holler comes away with the ball. Werder Bremen have to just clear their lines. And is the highlight still going? It is still going. Mousend into Selke. Selke back. Mousend finds Rashidi. A lot of joy down this right-hand side. Rashidi's cross is blocked. And that's out for a corner. Quite a recent example would be Brandon Austin at Spurs as well. Quite possibly indeed. Mark Bosnich. Too many jokes. Overload. The less said about Mark Bosnich, the better, probably. Iker Casillas. Tom Brady without the starter getting injured. Who knows what might have happened indeed. I mean, especially as, like, Tom Brady with his draft status, you very much doubt he would have got a chance if that injury hadn't happened at that particular moment. Linson's shot is blocked as well. Come on, lads. Come on. Right, I don't know. We do have a substitution left. I'm not 100% certain what we might do. It's cleared by Gunnarsson. Back in by Rashidi. Avia shoots. We do have one more, don't we? Nürnberger is knackered. So we could bring on Guy. But that just feels weird. We're going to bring on Forkel. We're going to push him up into that role. So he'll be a defensive winger. Let's see how that gets on in the last few moments. And Jimmy Garoppolo, indeed. Well, I mean, that's the whole San Francisco 49ers succession plan, isn't it? Wait until the starter gets injured, and then some random sixth rounder turns into a star. Cool. Another away draw. I think we did enough to get a win out of that game, but it wasn't to be. But still, a point's a point, right? We were better in the second half, that's for sure. But I'm going to be positive for basically any away results. There we are in 9th, 14 points from 11 games. Got to be okay. Muller is out for 3 days. We've got 2 weeks until the Schalke games. That's marvellous. Rashidi Rashidi's got a clause that after playing loads and loads of games for us, he will get a £500 per week pay rise. Not too bad. Not too bad. Right. We've got a break coming up. So I'm going to go and refuel. I'm going to look at Marmy. I'll move the game forwards a little bit as well. I will see you guys in 3 minutes. Chris Norton Walker is going to the co-op to get some food. Are you going to be on for a while? I will indeed be on for a while. I will be on for a few more hours for sure. Yeah. See you guys in about 3-4 minutes. Right, we're back. And so, RJ, I did miss your comment, by the way. Apologies on the big question. So you're okay with it as long as each club are managed separately, like the Brighton, Union arrangement. That makes sense. I think that there's certainly an element I can understand there, but not as I don't know what to call it, like Monaco and Brugge, or I assume you would include things like this, the City Group as well in that where there's clear cross management going on. Yeah, that's fair. The little question, Anderlecht Union SG. Have I already forgotten what was my little question for today? What was your favourite game from this week? Indeed. So what was? Is it just because Anderlecht won, or was there anything that was particularly exciting about the game? G&G points out that Nick Foles wouldn't have a statue if Wentz didn't get injured. Indeed. I mean, the whole trajectory of the Eagles over the last 5 years would be very, very different, I imagine. Mike says Darmstadt's new motto: "We might not win, but we certainly won't lose." It does seem that way. We are up against Schalke next. Now, Schalke finished beneath us in the Zweite Bundesliga last season. They've had a really, really good start as far as I recall. So I'm not sure if it's going to be... We've just beaten Stuttgart, so maybe it'll be okay. Who knows? Right, so we're going to find out when Crodmo's going to be streaming. He's going to stream reading the audio, reading out the autobiography of Duncan Ferguson whilst drumming. It's going to be sensational. Yeah, so Schalke are in fourth, 6 wins out of 11 games, doing really, really well. So it might be quite a tricky game. What is doing them out? Honor Sinnel is their manager. I'm not familiar with Honor Sinnel. So he's the assistant manager at Austria, went to Liefering, so part of the Red Bull group, and then to Karlsruhe for 3 years, on to Schalke. Playing there a 4-2-3-1, so we'll need to mark up the attacking midfielder. Yeah, I think I'm all right with that. Dick Emery. I did see that, right? That was in here. Oh, yes. Okay. I forgot that I renamed him because he was a dick to us. There we go. Right, no, it's because you saw it. Anderlecht will win this Sunday. Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. Right, here we go. This is now guys for fitness. None of them are likely to. But none of them are players that we prioritise bringing off the bench so they can play the full 60 minutes. It's how close is it, Ellis Sims? Broken ankle. He's now expected to run 2 to 5 weeks. So, well, if we call that 5 weeks, that'll bring you up to 4 months. It's probably going to take about a month to get him up to fitness. So, okay, that kind of makes sense. Let's pop in here and rehab him on strength. Let's just focus on making sure that he carries on being a target man type guy. That should be all right. I read it as what's your favourite game this weekend. That's fine. Same question. Why not? It's a little question, so you can go for anything. Crodmo thinks that reading Duncan Ferguson's book whilst drumming sounds like a good stream. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. What about this weekend? Let's make your debut this weekend. Come on. You know you want to do it. Mike says, speaking of Schalke, hot take, Neuer is the best goalkeeper ever, ability-wise. I mean, I like Neuer. I like. So Keenan Davis, the player we signed on loan to cover Ellis Sims being out with a broken ankle, is now out. He was likely to be terminated anyway in January once Sims was back. But there we go. Schiffel's now going to be out as well. The injuries are starting to pile up. So to Tubeck is going to be back by he's 2 weeks, 10 days until the next game. Schiffel's gonna miss that. We're going to be a little bit thin on the ground. Bendover is now out for 5 months. Wow, this has been a pretty brutal 24 hours in game world. Oh well. Yeah, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the idea of Neuer being the best goalkeeper ever. I really like him. I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. I think that he's had a significant impact on the way that the goalkeeper position is played. I think it's going to always be hard to distinguish between different eras. There are some very, very fine goalkeepers that he'd be up against. Right, Chris says, sounds like Wemby is out for the year due to blood clots. Doesn't sound good. No, that doesn't sound good. Right, Crudmo saying, you don't have any of the gear to stream anything. All you need is a phone. That's got a microphone on it. That's got a camera. Plug it into the PC. If only you had like a little studio or something, that'd be cool. So Rachel, hello Musterman, you've just been FM'd. Best regards, the best game in the world. Pretty rotten. It is pretty rotten, isn't it? Tyke, welcome on in, my dude. How are you? How's your week been? When Muster moves into your garage from tomorrow, you will have access to it all. Indeed. Well, no, you won't keep me in the garage because you've got far more important things in there, to be fair. That was unfortunate. They are some injuries. That is pretty... Look, it happens. It happens. We'll just have to get through until maybe if we're let's say we're mid-table come December, maybe we'll get a little bit of a transfer boost. I don't know. Let's see, we might need to make that squad bigger. But part of the way that we've assembled the squad, so we have in defence we have Mousehound who's a backup as well. So we've got 5 defenders, and Bamba can play back there. We've got flexibility in some of those positions. Stefanov has scored a goal. Sims is on the way back. We might be okay. So my best goalkeeper ever was Buffon, just personal preference. I think that's a fair shout as well. Obviously, as a Villa fan, it's Emi Martinez. Absolutely no questions about it. Whether he's had the impact or the consistency of any of those other goalkeepers, that doesn't really matter, to be honest. It is all about Emi. Evening. Greavesy's in. Welcome in, Greavesy. How you doing? Lovely to see you, my dude. Did both players injured their hip night of knee? Yes, they did. So both Bonch and I think it was hip injury. Bonch isn't even up. Am I being dumb? Bendover and Keenan Davis both with a hip injury. Keenan Davis in that friendly. Bendover in training the day later. There's another player who got injured on the 40th. There, okay, that's not in date. What order is it? It's in severity order. Okay, that's confusing. So there, and then we've got an Abbott injury for Schiffel. So garage is probably the best room in the house, to be fair. That's where the drums live, says Dayan Bassist. Mike, usually if you get a second case of blood clots, you're on blood thinners for life. That means no contact sports. Get well soon, Wemby. There is that risk, isn't there? I imagine, though, there are plenty of examples throughout history of sports where players have injuries that mean they should probably retire and they don't. I mean, if you look at someone like Tua, the amount of concussions he's had, any doctor worth their salt would be saying, right, you must retire. This is not safe for you to ever, your head probably needs to be in some kind of stabilization cage for the rest of your life. But yet that doesn't seem to happen. So I have a feeling they will find a way. Right. Muller's out for 7 weeks. SA's out for 8 days. So a little while ago, like maybe about 5 minutes ago, I suggested that Schalke was a winnable game. I'm feeling a little less confident right now. Just a little less confident. Right, mouse send over there. It would be Mbamba in so that Nürnberger can play at left wing back. It would be... Forkel in as the shadow striker. Skitter on the right. So let's move that way round. I don't mind those guys being wrong for that. Pop it on attacking there. Our bench will be... Tubeck is 3 days away. Probably won't risk him. Uda will be on the bench. And then from the second team, it will be Alki. And who was the guy that we bought in? The Dustin Kozak. He was brought in as the third choice left back essentially. So registration. Kozak in. We can't do that outside of the window. Won't be Kozak on the bench then. Damn. It will have to be Lortz or Schubert. Schubert is slow. Lortz is slow. Pence is slow. Phil McCracken on the bench. We'll go with that then, eh? I mean, I don't know why I've done that. There's still 2 days for more injuries to come in, so we will probably be making changes again by then. Wow, what an international break. That has been cruel. Very, very cruel. So DM Basis reckons Andy Gorham's the best goalkeeper. That's fair. Stefan Close, close second. There's only 2 Andy Gorhams. RJ says the best room in the house is where my girlfriend is, if I had one. Overrated, mate. Girlfriends, that is. I mean, I'm not a drummer, but I agree with Crudmo. Drums are better than a girlfriend. Rich Son's going for Jimmy Montgomery, hero in the 1973 Cup final for Sunderland. Over 500 appearances. A fine shout. And your starting goalkeeper in your best 11 yesterday. Eunice says, after 3 months of no FM24, I get back with 1 season save with Bayern. Now I need a proper save. Any suggestion? What kind of saves do you like, Eunice? What have been your best saves in all FMs? What's the ones that you remember most fondly? Zeratul goes unemployed to start and then go to when he needs save. See who comes and offers you jobs. Tyke, welcome again. Lovely to see you, my dude. What are the boys doing in training? Bumper cars. I think they're just like they're going at each other with like hammers and baseball bats. Blue Moon suggests Vitesse as his go-to. DM Basis will mention Poland. DM Basis has, in fact, already mentioned Poland. Yeah, some plenty of very, very good choices out there. The FN gods heard you, must admit. They did. They decided to punish us. Maybe that's what happens. If you draw too many games, the game is like, nope, this is boring. We need to make games high scoring. We're not going to let you score. We're just going to eviscerate your whole squad. So RJ says, is that a new player overview screen? It is kind of, yeah. It's something I've been playing around with. It is not not optimized beyond the 1600 by 900 resolution. But I saw a screenshot on Twitter of So Rare, which is like a card trading game thing. I don't really know anything about So Rare, but it basically had a screen that looked a little bit like this. No color at the top. I was like, oh, that'd be quite cool. Let's see if we could do something with that. So, yeah, it means that everything's decluttered. I can get information as we need it. We've got the forms, we've got the report, we've got the attributes, we've got training stuff there, we've got injury stuff there, we've got position stuff. I love a button. I'm always a big fan of a button. So here we go. Here we go. Home against Schalke. Playing a 4-2-3-1. Bamba needs to mark the attacking midfielder Sebastian Walter, which is what he's on, which is marvellous. We will ask these guys to trigger less because they need to cover when Schmidt loses his man. Andre Brooks has come back and he's not really that fit. Oh, for Christ's sake. Well, Hlinson is. The reason we weren't going to have Hlinson in the starting lineup was... So actually, let's do that. So I've now got to go and do those changes again. Make sure that he's marking Walter. Swap these back round. So yeah, Linson I thought wasn't going to be fit for the game. It turns out it's going to be Brooks isn't fit for the game. So we will bring in Garrido. Actually, Garrido can play the more defensive role. He's not as good defensively, but he's not very good at getting forwards, whilst Mbamba, I seem to recall, is better in that regard. Rashidi, Nürnberger. Let's again do the attacking there and the overlaps on. See if we can get them into those areas a little bit more. Here we go. Let's face against 4th place Schalke. Now, one thing I have noticed with them, part of the reason why Schalke are doing well is they've had some really, really good players come through their youth academy. Hermes is like worth 18 million. Walter is worth like 20 million as well. And they're homegrown players for them. Right, something about home fans. No one cares about home fans. Let's get this. So Mike's recommendations for the most entertaining goalkeepers. Rene Higuita, obviously. Jose Chilavert. Bruce Grobbelaar, Fabian Barthez, good shouts there. Very, very good shouts. DM Baser says, So Rare is a weird NFT cryptocurrency platform. I like the idea in theory. I'm a sucker for collecting things, but I steer clear of that whole scene. Exactly. That's why it was only from seeing a screenshot on Twitter rather than actually interacting with the mechanics of it. Right, it's cross to the far post. Selke, 8 minutes in.
Davy, come on, Davy's the answer. Catching maybe a striker and just score for Darmstadt. Davy Selke, Davy Selke.
That's what we needed. Who needs players to be fit? Who needs players to be fit when you can just rely on nobody marking Tim Walter there? It's not Tim Walter, Sebastian Walter. Tim Walter's the manager guy. Winkler with the corner. Outswinger, in at the near post. Schmidt gets it clear. Right, okay, so level at the moment. What's the momentum saying? We've had 65% possession in this opening stages, which is good. If they don't have the ball, less chance that they can equalise, right? Something along those lines. So let's see. Sega asks, how do you suggest approaching Moneyball with Atleti? I'm in 2028 and have failed to win the league every season since I arrived after a season and a half in River. Lost to UCL. Skitter! Not offside. Not offside.
Scoring like no tomorrow. Don't stand. The goals are here.
There we go. Nathan Skitter robs the ball off Wall. Takes it, just slots it past Hiller. That's 2-0. That's 2-0. So DM Basis has 3, just the 3 at the moment. Did you take the plunge on the acoustic? It's probably too many as a simple bedroom basis that doesn't actually do much with them, but I'm always looking for others too. I mean, like, isn't that the perfect excuse to have many bases, right? Because if you're a bedroom basis, you get bases because they're fun, right? Sebastian Walter pulls one back, it's game on. Whereas a bedroom basis, you get bedroom basis getting fun. If you're a gigging basis, you have to actually think about like versatility and all that kind of nonsense, rather than I like how this sounds and I like how this looks. So Eunice says, these are interesting choices. You want to manage a medium team. Oh, sorry. We were asking the Moneyball question with Atleti. So again, right, you're in 2028. So ultimately, exactly the same way you would any other Moneyball approach. Your squad is going to be vastly different to what it starts at the game. Identify what you want to do tactically, like get a goal from Noah and Bamba. That's a good idea.
Don't stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Don't stand, the goals are here.
Yeah, so what I suggest is sign Noah and Bamba and reap the profit. So obviously, work out what you want to do tactically and use your players as a guideline as to what you need to improve. So if you're looking for your player to be progressive and the player that's currently in that position makes 3 progressive passes per 90, look for someone who makes 4 and just apply that approach, see where you can get those improvements at a good value. Right, now so to Eunice, you mentioned you managed PSV, led them to European glory, and RB Leipzig was quite fun with 7 seasons and 2 Champions League. So I think I need a medium level team. Okay, that's fair. So DM Basis suggests Benfica. I really like that shout. I think maybe even a little bit below Benfica as well, like maybe a Braga or a like Vitória de Guimarães or a Boa Vista. You know, someone that's the first challenge is to step up and overtake the big 3 in the league, and then to establish yourself. I think that could be quite fun. Plenty of teams in Germany that would fit that brief. Plenty of teams in Netherlands as well. Maybe go back there. You've had a good time. So you've got your AZ Alkmaars, you've got your Twente's. There could be some really, really interesting teams around that level. Okay. That's not bad. Not bad. We are outperforming our XG. We're fortunate in that regard, but we definitely have been the better team. However, point fingers. I want to see more. I want to see more. There is no resting on our laurels here. Nobody's been booked. No forced substitutions at this point, which is nice. Who was it who said Sampdoria? Crodmo suggested Sampdoria. That's a fine suggestion as well. Bring them up from Serie B. Get them back to where they deserve to be. Eunice likes the idea of Benfica trying to break the curse. That'd be amazing. This is going very well as Skitter. Skitter's free kicks are really, really close. He is consistently just over. We are finally scoring. It's crazy, isn't it? We are scoring for fun. Well, Smithy's in, by the way. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? Sign Jorginho, no matter the age. Always Jorginho. Always Jorginho. Right. Right, can we make it 4? Or is this going to be a chance? Are Schalke going to pull one back? Paslak in acres of space down the right. He sends it across to Asmani. Asmani comes down the left. Takes straight at Sihanovic. We're all good. We are all good. Right, Rashidi with a throw-in. 66 minutes in. Feeling pretty good about ourselves. We will need to probably make a change in a moment. Here's Linson. Shoots from distance. Just over. And that's going to be Linson's last contribution. Going to bring on Dustin Forkel. We're going to swap around what players are doing what. Just because Forkel's not really a creator, while Skitter can be. It's just the one change before the 75th minute, and then we'll look to kill things in the last few moments. Here's Andrik. Free kick, Wall finds Hipper. Hipper's shot. Sahinovic turns it round the post, but it was offside anyway. It's going well. Thank you very much for the follow, by the way, Wesley Twitch. And Bam Bam, thank you, my dude. I hope you are both doing very, very well. We will now drop down to balanced. And we will time waste. We will let that change take hold, and then we'll make substitutions. By which point it will be 3-2, possibly. Hipper goes across to Andrich. It's intercepted by Forkel. Forkel against the world. What's he going to do? He's done more than Forkel so far. He finds Skitter. Skitter's shot is a little bit wank, though. On come the changes for Schalke. They're sticking with the 4-2-3-1. Their goal scorer, Sebastian Walter, is off injured. Mbamba is marking the right player, which is great. Right, so Bonch on Guido into that more defensive position, which is cool. Nürnberger's done just about enough. Rashidi's been good, but he's looking more tired out of the fullbacks. Let's bring those on. With the time wasting up, we should be good. And then last few minutes, we make the next change as well. That's going to be Uda and Stefanov. So we're going young to see out the last few moments. We've surely got this. We've got this in the bag, right? There's 30 seconds over the allotted time. Surely this is the last highlight. There's not enough time. There is not enough time. Right, there we go. A deserved win. A deserved win.
Wait for SV Darmstadt, slam the goal in motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
I wish that I couldn't do the falsetto part for the bit after that. My God, I swear I almost killed my voice trying to do the high parts. Okay, that doesn't really change anything in terms of the league for us, but what a massive, massive win. 17 points. Delighted with that. Then all that's 9 unbeaten, which is crazy. Crazy, crazy. Our next game away against Bayer Leverkusen. That's a little bit more scary for sure. But we should have some players back, notably Schifferl and Tubeck. So defensive depth will be absolutely great. In fact, let's pop them on the bench like so. I mean, Schifferl will be the only one that would be guaranteed to come in, but it would be Mousehound in as the defensive midfielder, would be my thinking. And then, yeah, so that's what we'd be looking at for the next game, potentially. Incredible stuff. Forkel's doing Forkel, indeed. Oh, well, wasn't doing Forkel. He beat some players. Now, Mike's suggesting Athletic Bilbao money save. Now, that would be fun. Not too much data to sort. And that, I would suggest that would be a very, very bad idea, because there'd just be so few players that would meet the criteria, sadly. So DM Basis says, yeah, if it's not Benfica, it's Vitoria. Vitoria's a great shout. Crudmo's a fan of Boa Vista, or is that no to Boa Vista? Palmer is a great shout from Mr. Grizzly P. These are amazing suggestions. Zerachul says, retro database to play your favourite team from the golden age of football. You can't go wrong with that. That's a pretty good suggestion, let's be fair. Right, Rashidi's got his €500 wage rise. Well deserved. Well deserved. So the attacking mentality works wonders. It does indeed. It does. I mean, it works wonders with this formation. We saw. I don't think we ever scored a goal with IFK Mariaham when we went to attacking, which scared me for a little bit. Scared me away from it. But it seems we're doing all right here. Right. So Welsh doing good. You've renewed Dybala's contract. To remove the release clause. Now in season 2, he's drawing Saudi interest, getting that money. Bam Bam had already been following, but accidentally clicked unfollow. Fair enough. I'll be honest, Bam Bam. I think I've done that myself. I've accidentally unfollowed and then I've waited until the stream is over to follow because I'm like, oh, I'm scared, which is silly, absolutely silly of me. But there we go. Right, Sauter, Stefanov, and Tubek. Guy can get 60 minutes as well. SA is 3 days away, so we're not going to risk him on that. A little bit wank was Lou Bega's disappointing follow-up to Mambo number 5. Sometimes good, sometimes a little bit wank, indeed. Often a little bit wank, to be fair. But wait, did the song say Mustard Dorks? Is it now official? It does say Mustard Dorks. It does. What does it say? Winning is for Darmstadt. Spam the goal emote chat. You can feel it every week. Mustard Dorks rejoices. Free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league. I think that's what it says. I think that's what I went with. The Musterman law is strong. It is. It is. Hungdamin says avoiding relegation is so easy. We're certainly on a good path at the moment. Adams playing darts. A fine choice. A fine choice. 2029 and Bayern is on top. Nothing changes. I think it's been kind of open. No, it hasn't. It's just Dortmund won it last season. Dortmund broke the stranglehold. That is quite crazy. So Dortmund won the league last season. That seems all good and well. And as a result, Gennaro Gattuso left for Liverpool. So they now have Marco Rose. Marco Rose's career took over at Germany, then ended up at Wolfsburg, now at Dortmund. It's come full circle. Full circle. Can he? And they're in fourth. They're failing to defend their title. So it hasn't gone all that well, bless him. Can we start dreaming of playing Europe? Not this season. Definitely not this season. I don't think so. Love the arrows. Do you call what darts being called out? I don't get that. How's that one? Arrows. Right. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Mike says you've tried it with Wrexham, British, Irish, and American players only. Mixed results so far. I think certainly when like British players only, Irish, American, that's a really, really big pool compared to say Basque only, which is a very, very, very small pool to work from. It'd be an exciting challenge for sure. Very, very exciting challenge. All right, we've been criticised for not being direct enough. Probably quite fair. Gay's injured. He was going to be on the bench anyway, so that's fine. So you've strayed away from your initial intention, Mr. Grizzly P. You're going back to my Cult Heroes Only retro save. I said you can't go wrong with retro. You can't go wrong with retro. Welsh Smith is doing a test with his coaching staff, trying to get staff who have high determination, motivation, and level of discipline. No fun allowed. I see we're the complete opposite here. Who did we just hire? We hired a coach. Was it Alexander Rath? And a large part of it was because he was light-hearted. I want someone... Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I said I want someone light-hearted. I didn't pay attention to his crazy eyes. Like, that might be disheartening. If you've got someone with those crazy eyes coming up to you and going, hey, guys, let's have some fun, you'd probably actually be quite scared. Bless him. Bless him. So, Mr. Grizzlies, you're going to resist signing Romario. Why resist? Why resist? Exactly, Quadmo. Alessio Russo scored for England. Marvellous stuff. What a player. What a player Alessio Russo is. Just absolute quality. That's what makes him fun. Fair. Right, dear bassist. Oh, and Mustman, I finally got my eBay delivery the other day. And now I have about 30 orcs and orc hour boys to paint. Marvellous stuff. Orcs should be quite fun as well to paint. Did it arrive on the Saturday by the time, or did you have to wait until this week? Mike wouldn't trust Gattuso as a manager, not to start tackling everyone on the sidelines by sheer force of habit. That's fair. I wouldn't trust Gattuso as a manager mainly for his managerial ability as well, but you know. The Welshsmithy says, yeah, he's a nice lad, really, when you get to know him. Just don't stare at the eyes. Otherwise, he's nice. Harmless. Harmless. Yonsa says, am I the only one who just signs former club legends as my staff? I think that's a perfectly reasonable way to go. Cruyff described Romario as the only player he'd seen who could dribble in 1 square metre. Connor's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? He likes having a good raff with the lads. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah, I'm hoping so. It arrived on Monday, if I remember right. I think you should be able to... There needs to be a mechanic within eBay where if the delivery is later than the estimated window when you order, that you get like half price off. You know, I think that you deserve to be compensated for having to wait a whole extra 2 days, right? Even if technically Saturday's not a working day, it still should have been there by then. Right, Essa is back, which is cool. So that will be Uda off from the bench. Sims is still going to be like 2 weeks away. Guy he's okay enough to be on the bench, I reckon. Andre Brooks can come back in. So that's how we reward Mbamba. So actually let's have Mbamba in that position. We're up against a 4-4-2 this time. So mark specific player off. Put you on cover. Take the close down less on you guys. Remember to turn the music back on. Yeah, we'll go with that. We will go with that. Mr. Grizzly P, sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shy. That is the only contribution Gattuso has given to the world of management. I'm being very harsh on him, I do realise, but yeah, I feel like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Right, no pressure. Absolutely no pressure on you guys at all. Away against Leverkusen. Managed by Sergio Conceição, Boniface, Van Bommel, Adley, Frimpong. Some good players in there. But can they match up to Davy Selke? Can they? Indeed, they're just bastards. Exactly. Right, so Niels is in. Welcome in, my dude. My Werder Bremen is 2-0 behind again and sucks since the winter break. Let's better switch to Mustermann and not ruin our weekend already on Friday. Niels, I can't make any promises. We look to be shite as well. Here we go, 1-0 down. Was Tapsoba blocking the line of view? I think that's fine. I think that's fine. It's going to stand. It is. All right, we lasted 1 minute. Adley with the corner, swung into the near post. Van Bommel's header hits Tapsoba. And there's Hincapi to fire in the rebound. We don't even get to see a replay. It was that onside. Dan Basis, as much as you love him for obvious reasons, he's a garbage manager. He really is. Oh boy, it's another corner. Another corner coming in. Hincapi. Okay, Schmidt gets rid of it this time. Bayer. Back to Van Bommel. To Bayer. So much space. Fires wide. Let's fire these guys up. We need to be a little bit more on it. Let's keep an eye on the momentum. See if that's helped us at all. Doesn't look that way at the moment. Oh, okay. No, we've got a little sliver of blue there. Right, Bayer to Tar. Tar inside to Palacios. Byers through in behind, 2-0. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is going down. Right, so RJ is going to lay down. Still need a rest. Have a good stream. Thank you so much for dropping by, my dude. Enjoy your rest. Have a lovely weekend. Right, it's a lovely ball over the top. Avila doesn't follow his man. And that is 2-0. Damage limitation time now. Drop down to balanced. He's on Mark Tighter. He's on Mark Tighter. He's meant to cover across. So drop these guys down onto balanced as well. Let's try and send the ball forwards a little bit more aggressively. Specifically to Selke. Maybe just essentially commit less people forwards, hope that we get lucky. Right, so what we got here, yay! There we go. There's some momentum in our favour. And it's gone as quickly as we said that. Yeah, I mean, stats-wise, nothing much has changed as a result. They're still around 60% possession. They haven't had any more shots, but one's about to come up here. Adley going to take a run at the man, goes wide. He's got two tracking him, so he plays it back to Guindo. Guindo's in acres of space. Awful defending by his header, just wide. I'm going to shout at them, tell them they're all a little bit rubbish. Well, Smithy, I almost thought I was signing Totti as a technical director. It's a regen. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Right, so we made the changes around here. They had just the one chance, but we're creating nothing right now. Let's have a look at where it's breaking down. It's breaking down with Nürnberger. It's breaking down with Linsen. Breaking down with Nürnberger a lot more than it's breaking down with Rashidi, which is quite a surprise. So let's do this. I'm disappointed. Got to ask you to tackle these off tackles. So I want you to cross more often, but I'm going to ask you to cross from deep. You're going to dribble less. You're going to take fewer risks. Linsen going to become we're going to go double shadow striker. We're going to make you on support. So we're going to look at essentially hoping to get lucky and create chances with send the ball long to Selke, hope that we can pick up some second balls. It's not the prettiest approach. We're not going to win. We're probably not going to score. But if we can protect our goal difference a little bit, we don't want to fall to another 6-0 defeat, right? That's ultimately what we're looking at. So Kinky's in, welcome in. Lovely to see you, my dude. Just downloaded one of your skins today. Absolutely love it. Glad to hear. Enjoy. Zerachul. Have a good one to RJ as well, indeed. Right, okay. Given away a foul. That's fine. What we're looking at, we've had one more shot from Leverkusen in the opening 5 minutes. Can we get a chance here? Here's Mbamba. Finds Nürnberger. Back to Mbamba. Now, I would have been a bit annoyed at Nürnberger for passing backwards again, but I've told him to take fewer risks. We send it over the top. Linson has the shot. It's a good save from Delorge. So I can't really criticise him in that situation. Nürnberger with the corner. Sends it to the far post. Selke doesn't even challenge for it. Rashidi gives away the free kick. Yeah, they've had that shot there. Rashidi's now on a yellow card, so he's going to come off. Don't need to say anything. He's already motivated. Guy comes on, gets booked straight away. Brilliant stuff. Right, at the 66th minute, we're bringing on Essay to come back from his Avia to come off as well. So we're taking him off at ease off tackles there. I think that's all right. So yeah, momentum has been in our favour this half, but there's not really any major onus on Leverkusen to get a third. They might be if we score here, though. Nürnberger into Brooks. Brooks back to Tubeck. Across to Mbamba, surely. Mbamba shoots. It's pushed behind. It would have had to have taken something special from there, though. Let's be fair. It would have taken a lot to have beaten the keeper. Nürnberger sends it in. Guy can't win the header. It's a handball. He's not in trouble, though, so that's fine. Right, Boniface can't get there. Tubeck pushes it back to Sahinovic. Sahinovic to Schmidt. To Schiffel. Plays it into Mbamba. Here's Esse. Now he's got a chance to run. He finds Nürnberger. Nürnberger could go back inside to Esse there. He doesn't. So will he cross it? He's been asked to cross it more. He does cross it more. And Mbamba's shot is horrible. Absolutely trash shot. Bless him. Right, Selke finds Nürnberger again. This is where we're having our joy. Nürnberger. Get that cross in, lad. He doesn't. He goes back to Tubeck, who finds Brooks. Brooks feeds Mbamba. All the chances are coming to Mbamba right now. He's the more defensive of the midfielders as well, isn't he, at the moment, Mbamba? Just surprised that he's getting all the chances, but there we go. Right, headed clear by Boniface. Tubeck is going to send it back inside to Brooks. Tackle's made. And Leverkusen come away with the ball. So our last few changes are going to see Schalke come off. Standard change there. And Linson come off. Let's go back to attacking just for the last 10 minutes. If we can get... That's worth the risk. I thought if we lose 3-0 as a result of that change, I don't mind. As long as we don't lose a game 6-0, that's essentially what I wanted to avoid in the second half. But it does look like changing to attacking might pull us apart. Here is Boniface, Semi in behind, Semi to make it 3-0. There we go, back to balance then. Incredible stuff. Incredible. That goal gave me a Semi. There we go. It was a lovely ball through the lines. Oh well. As I said, I don't mind 3-0. Let's hope we don't concede a fourth now. You can just see the game out. We've not been that bad. Like, we kept them down to 9 shots. They've had 4 in the second half, 5 in the first half. They have had some good chances though. And they definitely deserve to win. 3-0 is a little bit flattering, but we've had some flattering wins this stream so far. So yeah, there we go. 3-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. I'm not happy with you guys. You're letting some soft goals. Sahinovic with a 5.8 rating. How on earth? Okay, so Sahinovic had that game against Dortmund where he conceded every shot on target and they were all straight at him. Yeah, in that game, well, I don't think he could really be criticised for any of the goals. He's down on 5.8. Probably because we told him to send it long, so his pass completion was much lower. Right, drop down to 9th, under Frankfurt now. But still in a pretty good spot. We're 7 points ahead of the 3rd relegation spot, which is cool. That's the end of our unbeaten run. It was nice whilst it lasted, eh? It was nice whilst it lasted. Our next game is against Hamburg, though, one of the fellow promoted teams. So we've got to feel reasonably positive about that. They play a back 3, so a one-man striker. So back to these changes here. We've got the overlaps on. We've got the wing backs. We'll have them on attack again. For now, we will chalk that down to just being against a better team. We couldn't get away with being as risky as we were. Whereas against someone like Hamburg, maybe there's more scope for it. But we'll see. We will see. We've got the friendly midweek as well. Chance to get players back to fitness. We'll eventually get there. So what would that be? We're into December now. I'm going to decline that. Nürnberger, they're expecting to get some bids. So left back, Adam Asnu is down in Bundesliga, Zweite Bundesliga. We've got some options. Actually, the favourite choice is an 11 million wing back that we're definitely never ever going to go in for. In fact, all of their recommendations there are expensive, and Asnu's on loan. Kabar, Almugera Kabar, he was on the bench, wasn't he, for Dortmund in the Champions League? So they reckon he's a wide centre-back. He certainly doesn't look like a wing-back type of player from an attribute perspective. He's been playing as a left-back, though. And as far as left-backs go, he doesn't do any of the attacking stuff that we're looking at, so that is a definite no. Lutonda might be affordable if he's on the lower end of that range. He's been playing as a winger. So, like, if I looked at him as a fullback, he'd look like he does the attacking things, but he should be doing more, really, so probably not the guy that we're looking for. Vitaly Becker is described as a complete wingback. He's been playing not that much. Some of the games are centre-back, some at left wing-back. That's not very helpful for us in terms of judging performance. From an attribute standpoint, seems kind of okay. Maybe he's an option. And Katterback will cost us anywhere between 10,000 and 4.5 million. He's barely played at all. 71 minutes. Can't really judge off that. Oh, I like yeah. Where's Benjamin Bockel playing? Bockel is playing as a left back. Benjamin Bockel is a great name. My word, Benjamin Bockel. We could have Benjamin Bockel and Benjamin Bonch in the same team. He's not good enough, but I like the name. Horzak. Yeah, not an attacking option for us, unfortunately. Mario Peters hasn't been playing. Here's a young option that is slow, can't tackle, can't mark, can't dribble, can't cross, doesn't work hard. Weverson he's played the right positions. He is creating, he's not pressuring, but he stays back a little bit more defensively. Does create, maybe he's worth keeping more of an eye on. And then Guillaume James, definitely not attacking enough for us, but has been playing at fullback. Yeah, that's a bit rubbish in terms of choices. We will look at things in a little bit more detail. So Johnson says Kabar was part of one of the worst Dortmund backlines you've ever seen. That's fair. Kabar, Lurs, Ryerson, Kuto. I think that is a painful looking backline, to be fair. Krodmo, sign him. He's my favourite. He likes a bit of Benjamin Bockel. It's such a satisfying name. Such a satisfying name. Churchill, isn't the worst one the one they have today? I mean, that's a fair argument. That is a fair argument. Although that is pretty much the one. Yeah. Is there a Dortmund game tonight? I know there's a couple of games, aren't there, in Bundesliga this evening, but I can't remember. No, surely Dortmund aren't playing tonight. Not with midweek shenanigans. Freiburg Bremen today. That makes more sense to me, indeed. Not necessarily the most exciting game that you would imagine. Freiburg are currently bottom of the league. 1 win so far. Right, Hamburg down to 13th. Foxes 0, Brentford 1. Who scored the goal? I think I put Wisser in my lineup for fantasy. I don't know why I'm still bothering with fantasy. I'm so far behind in every single league that there's not really much to be gained from it. Right, let's unpick the bench. So, 2-bet, get him back to fitness. Guy, try and get him back to fitness. Bonch, play the full game. Uda can play the full game. Essa for 45. 60. 60. Those guys are fine. Ivor Biggin. He seems to be coming along nicely. Yeah, so we've got the season break comes up in December, doesn't it? So we've only got a few more games until we actually then can potentially strengthen the team. Hopefully, I really hope that we get a little bit of an injection to the transfer budget. In fact, what is the finances situation? 9 million. They're probably not going to increase percentage of transfer revenue, but I'm going to ask again. Just if we can keep on pushing that up little by little, that will certainly help. Because you think that we sold Rocco Vata for 22.5 million euros, and as a result of that, we got 6 million to spend. It's been quite restrictive, which is understandable because we've only got 9 million in the bank after doing all that. We're not exactly the most fashionable or sexy team. People don't want to come and watch us. It was Wisser. Marvellous. Marvellous. Big for Man United in the relegation battle. It is. I think that's why Leicester hired Van Nistelrooy, right? The only reason they let Van Nistelrooy go was to make the relegation rivals worse. Right, so well, Stevie's got to love and leave. No worries at all. Thank you very much for popping by, my dude. I hope you have a marvellous weekend. Yes, we should have a good Wester stream. We should definitely have a good Wester stream. We are going to win all of our remaining games. I'm confident. Honest. So here we go. Oh, the weeks in between, they seem to go on for so long. We're finally getting coaches for our reserves team, which is marvellous. We've gone like most of the season. I don't think we have... Hey! Up to 45%. I have a feeling we still don't have a manager for the reserves. We don't have a manager for the reserves. It is the responsibility of our director of football. We've had a reserve team since summer. We're in December now, and we still don't have a manager for them. Well, Nuri Sahin is the stand-in. Right, Jonsa says, the big thing is if the bottom four weren't absolutely horrendous, United would genuinely be in that fight. Indeed. But doesn't that happen like a lot of seasons, as you find that there ends up being a big gulf between like the really bad teams and the teams just outside. And then sort of around March time, April time, it kind of gets a little bit more tense. You start having those, potentially the United, because I feel like Brentford were in the same position as like United were last season, where they were kind of safe because the teams beneath them were really, really bad. Oh, yes, come on. This might be our best youth intake of the season. Granted, we've got to see what actually happens. We've got to see what actually happens, but that's the first time we've had a positive-looking youth intake summary. Yeah, so I think the Tottenham could still be in genuine trouble. They do desperately need to pick up points. Right, so Sega says, what stats would you suggest I look in for a counter-attacking low-block centre-back and wing-back? So, centre-backs, you're expecting them to win headers, win tackles, make interceptions, clearances, blocks. So I would, generally speaking, think about how your team is defending. Look at your instructions, and are you focusing on letting the opposition cross the ball into the box? Because then you're going to prioritise things like header win rate. Are you trying to sit where you say there's a low block? So are you trying to make it difficult for the opposition to get in behind and take lots of pot shots? Then you might want to be looking at things like blocks. Are you expecting that? Are you holding a low block, but you're being quite aggressive? You're asking players to tackle harder and to engage more. And you're trying to kind of press them once they get into half. Then you might want to look at tackles. Where you can, percentages over numbers. So tackle win rate, header win rate over tackles one, header one. For the wing backs as well, I'm guessing if you're saying counter-attacking, they're defending mainly, so you want to prioritise the defensive metrics. And then I assume they're going to have to run all the way up the pitch, run all the way back again to defend. So you probably want to look at things that show stamina, so high-intensity sprints, distance covered per game. Those would be the areas I would prioritise. So Zerachul, your board just gave you £120 million extra for transfers. Guess January shopping is on. My word, it really is. What a windfall. Crodmo, the Premier League recommended that Everton should have had 17 points taken off them last season. Even if they'd had all those points deducted, they still would have finished 5 points clear of the drop zone. But yes, there's often a big gap. Is it not just that Sean Dyche is the greatest manager ever? I think it might be. Right. So that's our bench is going to look something like that. Uda or Bonch. Bunch will be the player to come in. Linson, Skitter. Let's get Essa back into that starting lineup. Let's get Skitter back into that role there. That's the way round we did it. Was it the way round we did it? No. Let's go back to... that was Skitter and Linson. This was Skitter and Essa. Which way round was it? Skitter on the left, Essa on the right. That's what we're going with. Cool. Let's do that. Do we need to mark an attacking midfielder? We don't. Right, this I reckon is the last of our winnable games on paper in the first half of the season. And obviously Hamburger finished above us last season. But a home game against a fellow promoted side has got to be one that we expect to win. We're obviously we're going to hope to pick up points elsewhere as well, but just in terms of like what we'd feel positive about, right? So if Dyke is the greatest manager ever, what does that make the Mozoya? It makes him a tribute act. Yes, like sure, Moyes might have been managing before Dyke, but Moyes is a Dyke tribute act, and it's just that, you know, that freshness is what's carrying him right now. Right, Rashidi with a bad touch, loses out, but's able to work it back to Sahinovic. Schifferl into Mbamba. Schmidt under pressure, manages to play it to there. We're okay, and Rashidi has a chance to get away with it. Rashidi's created some space, and then he waits to get the cross in, and loses that space. Interesting. They're not on cross from deep, are they? They're not, no. Right, so it's only been the one chance so far, and that chance wasn't particularly good. Here comes Hamburg, though. Carter's shot's blocked. Siebert picks it up. Can Siebert create space? He can't. He goes back to Oliveira. Oliveira shoots from distance. It's an easy save for Sahinovic. A tribute act? Fuck off. I knew that would rile you up, sir. Right, Bakary Jatta against Nürnberger. Plays it back to Siebert. Regier. Sorry, it's not Regier. It's Regier. Regier. That harsh Dutch G. It's a good save from Sahinovic from the shot from distance. Benes with the corner. Benes swings it in. Siebert can't get there, but Jatta will pick up the second ball. Jatta tries to play it back out to Benes, who feeds Carter. That looked dodgy, but we got away with it. We got away with it. It's not been good so far. In fact, momentum is very much in Hamburg's favour. So let's demand some more of the players. Mbamba into Selke. Selke's going to play it out wide to Nürnberger. Nürnberger, can he send it in? He doesn't cross it. He cuts it back to Brooks. So genuinely, guys, any recommendations for getting my players to cross when in positions to cross? We've seen this so many times that he's playing that cut back to the edge of the area, and it's starting to annoy me. It is starting to annoy me. I don't think there's anything trait-wise that stops him from crossing. Here's Benes now. We've got the last 1 minute and 15 seconds. Can Hamburg strike a blow late in the first half? Jatta up against Nürnberger. Nürnberger just kind of stands there, lets him go past. Jatta, unopposed, sends it across to Walter Marder. I can berate them because we'll get another team talk in a few moments anyway. They're such wankers. God, I hate players who have a go at you for praising their training. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's disappointing, isn't it? Jatta. Nürnberger was very, very passive. Just kind of like let him past. It's a good run from Jatta. Sends it across to Walter Marder, last season's Zweite Bundesliga top goal scorer. It's fair. It's fair. We haven't done enough. Just straight up, you've been terrible. And that means we push Skitter up front. Do we go... We go this way. So Skitter as an advance forward. Selke as a target forward. Essa as an advanced playmaker on attack. Get you to on support. You on attack. Yeah. Nürnberger. Tackle harder. We say, if we just tell him where to cross. Let's see. That's okay. Oh, I think cross more often makes them about 0.63% more likely to cross, which makes the total likelihood 1.63%. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So we'll increase the directness. That's all right. That's all right. Let's try and put some more pressure on them in the second half. Let's want to turn this around. Let's see if we can get just at least a little bit more of a foothold in the final third. So John, so what worked for me in Stoke City, where I played a proper 4-4-2, I put an instruction on my left back and left winger to aim specifically for the back post when crossing. I felt like that helped. I had perfect. That's what we've gone for. I hadn't read that by that point. Thank you. So that's, well, hopefully we'll see that. So Frank's in from Australia. Good morning, my dude. Don't get to catch the live streams much due to time zone, but they're great. Absolutely understandable. I can't imagine the idea of trying to pay attention to something at that time in the morning. Lovely to have you in though, my dude. Right, can we get away with it? Here is Skitter. He's got the ball. Skitter is going to send the cross into the far post. Oliveira gets there, but here's Rashidi. Rashidi forces a save out of Kerovic. Better in the second half so far. Thank you very much for the follow, by the way, Top Thanatos. Lovely to have you in, my dude. Nürnberger with the corner. Kerovic claims. I deliberately avoided anything meta when it came to corner routines, but I think I need to change them up a little bit. Not go meta at all, but just a case of maybe stop with these sent into what is probably the worst spot, being the middle of the 6-yard box. Right, Jatta wins the ball back, plays it back to Siebert, back to Jatta. Right, Nürnberger does try to close him down at least this time, but they work it all the way out to Carter on the left-hand side. Carter, no pressure from Rashidi. Benesh with the shot, goes over. I can't make him press anymore. So that's going to be Guy on. Let's send you to the... Let's try to the centre, because I don't think Skitter's necessarily the player I want aimed for. Let's go with him being... I've got to take Rome position off. Let's go with Shadow Striker so that he's being more aggressive again, and we will give Clinton that opportunity. Going to also bring off Nürnberger, and that can be a job for Mousehand, Garrido. Mousehand. I like Mousehand. Those will be the changes there. Just, yeah, I thought we've started okay in the second half, but it feels like it's petering out a little bit. So Frank, have I done a money ball with over 30s only? Player wage demands, I assume, would contradict the ideology of Moneyball. Exactly. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense adding any other, any added unnecessary restriction. So Selke with the penalty.
Davy, come on, Davy's the answer. Because you may be a striker and you score for Darmstadt. Davy Selke, Davy Selke.
So, oh no, can Hamburg pull one back immediately? Limata's in behind. It's a great save from Sahinovic. Focus, guys, focus. You can't let them straight back into the game that way. Benesh is going to take the corner. What a wonderful man Selko is. What a wonderful man indeed. Benesh is taking his time over this corner. Are we just going to sit here and wait? We are. Vuskovic is the target. That's surely offside. Surely offside. It's okay. We clear our lines, and it's Skitter who comes away with it. Skitter's going to hold it up really well, finds Linson, but there is no highlight to come from there. What we're going to see in the last few minutes. Free kick starts with us. Just going to pass it around. We're being relatively patient. Schmidt across to Mbamba. Back to Avia. There's no effort to press us. So we've got our time. It's a lovely ball. Skitter's in behind. It's Davy Selke. Davy Selke. Oh, is that offside? I thought he was good. I thought he was good.
Davy, come on, Davy's the answer. Because you may be a striker and you score for Darmstadt. Nervy Selke. Nervy Selke. Nervy Selke.
Right, we have one substitution left. Let's see what happens here. Can Guy set up a third goal? Is the comeback going to happen? It's punched away. Mousehound gets it back into the box. Linson picks up. Linson! It's a great save from Karavic. From the corner, just 50 seconds left. That was an amazing play. It was. What Skitter getting to the ball first, sending it across for Davy Selke to score. What a comeback. What a comeback. We're not even going to make the last substitution, I don't think. Here comes Neumann. Do Hamburg have something in their bag? Jatta gets away from his man. Avia with the foul. It's a great foul from Avia. A great foul from Avia. We've got 2 stoppages, in fact. So, Skitter will be rewarded by being substituted off. Drop that down to balanced. That will surely be enough time wasted, right? Great tactical foul. It was. Or is it? What's happening here? It's crossed in. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. Oh, fuck off, ref. Oh, Watermar was pushed by Kenneth Schmidt, and it's going to be that man from the spot to equalise. Right. Woohoo! Oh my. Oh my. Now, we've seen this kind of penalty save before. I hate it. How on earth do you catch that penalty? How on earth? By heck. By heck. I mean, we would have felt robbed. They had, what's that, 0.79, 0.33 XG excluding the penalty. We came back, Davy Selke in the last few moments. That means only one win. So Frank, I was replying to you earlier. The game got a little bit hectic now, I do apologise. But yeah, I don't see the point in having any age restrictions when doing a Moneyball approach. Because it's all about finding players undervalued by the market. It doesn't matter whether that player is 17 or 74. If they're performing and they're available at a good value, then they be considered. Right, well done. To come back, I'm proud of you. Fabulous stuff. Davy Selke now must be up to like 5 goals this season. Woo! He does shine. He does shine. He gets an extra year for his fifth. Oh, one more appearance before that kicks in. Damn. Yeah, that's his 5th goal of the season. Then our next game is away against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Marvellous stuff. Marvellous stuff. So it's Squidgy says, I don't know if it's coincidence, but your team seems to cross a lot more when you have low crosses on. Interesting. Sega asks, did I see the controversy with Nasser El Khelaifi and the League club presidents? I did not. What happened there? I legit just celebrated that as if it was Rangers in a final. It was amazing, wasn't it? It was amazing. Last kick of the fucking match was that. Just as Eunice and I were praising Avia for the tactical foul beforehand that led to the cross that led to the penalty. Oh, we can't hear you over Snap, dude. You don't need to hear me. You don't need to hear me. Is it Snap? It is Snap. It is Snap. Right. Yes, we know that ESA has a 20 million release clause. That's why we put it in there. They don't want to allow us to have any more coaches. Interesting. They have 4 coaches. That makes sense. You still need to hire a manager. Stop trying to hire coaches and hire a manager. Really straightforward. Oh, there's a. I don't want to know. Do I want to know what that clip is? Let's have a look at that. So Silver, welcome in, my dude. It's 2 a.m. and you can't sleep. So holla, my dude. What a time to arrive. How are you doing? Okay, yep, that's a fair thing to clip. Oh dear. Rhythm is a Dancer, song by Snap, 1992, as Night of Knee confirms. Snap, obviously a Frankfurt-based Eurodance band, so in the same region as Darmstadt. As are, who was the other one? Culture Beat. Culture Beat? It is Culture Beat, yes. 10 out of 10 clip. It's a fine, you are playing some Avowed. A fine choice. A fine way to start your weekend indeed. Right, Dortmund beat Hoffenheim. Stuttgart beat Wolfsburg. We're doing all right. Gladbach away in 5 days' time. I keep on forgetting. I should be looking at that point to see how many games we're on. We're on 14. So what? There's going to be 2 or 3 more games to go. Gladbach in 6th. Their form is all over the place. Their last 5 games have been away from home. What on earth is that schedule? No, it hasn't. That Freiburg game was at home. That Hoffenheim game was at home. I swear that said Gladbach's games were all away. That does say. Interesting. I wonder if that's a little... That's odd. That is very, very odd. The DM Basis has got Avowed on Game Pass. Hasn't started it yet though. Right, I want to pop here. Let's again undo all the players on the bench. I know you can do it through the menu, but I've started that now just so I can see what suggestions there are. Sauter can play Tubeck. Yeah, we're 16 minutes for you guys all. But players like Bunch and Uda will get much longer. Ellis Sims can play a whole 20 minutes. Let's give him 20 minutes. And those two are absolutely fine for fitness. What's the odds that he gets injured in that 20 minutes? I reckon it's pretty high. So Sega says Nasser is being accused of conflict of interest because he's the president of PSG and beIN Sports, who always seem to get the rights for at least a quarter of the league matches. And the league president portrayed him as a hero, which led John Texter to tell him to just go with one channel, and Nasser proceeded to call him a cowboy. Oh, so yes, beIN do seem to do quite well in terms of getting rights. But if beIN hadn't been there to pay for the TV rights, would the whole league have ended up bust last season? Because like their TV deal situation was pretty horrendous. So I can kind of get why he might be quite opposed to comments from people like John Texter. I'm not defending PSG. I don't like the idea of nation states owning football clubs. But in this particular situation, the conflict of interest might arguably have saved the league. Now, if the league goes under because it's entirely unsustainable, I genuinely don't think that's a bad thing, because it forces it to have to rise from the ashes as something that will be better and more sustainable long term. But yeah. So Night of Knee says, was Culture Beat the ones who did Mr. Vane? They were indeed. I know what I want, and I want it now. I want you. Because I'm Mr. Vane. Right, Magdeburg want Rashidi. Why would I sell Rashidi to a team below us whilst he's starting regularly? Right, Silver says, I'm early game right now, so the combat is really meaty and satisfying. The movement is fun, and the magic system is fun. It's more like an action game than a traditional RPG, like Skyrim, so you'll probably give it a 7.5 out of 10 right now. That's got to be pretty good. If you're still in the early game and you've got a very positive opinion of it, that's a good start. A good start indeed. Right, Clinton, Vorkal, Stefanov, Bonch is a little bit tired, so we'll go with that. Brooks and Bamba Rashidi, Essa Skitter. We're up against the 4-4-2, which means we do that. Another away 4-4-2. Now, we did struggle against this last time. I think we do something. That's something. Take one from position off. Swap these guys over. We go and do how we ended the game last time. Something like that. Something like that. So what a song that was. Brackets, it was awful. I mean, look, I'm not much of a Eurodance fan, to be completely frank, but it's catchy. And that's kind of the point, right? Isn't it? That's if you're going to have a pop song, you want people to remember it, and it does that. That's for sure. So Eunice played it now for about 8 hours, still exploring the first location. Quite like it. Graphically beautiful. Gameplay and combat are well made. Didn't get that deep into the story, but seems promising. All coming through as good feedback. Silver is not feeling the story and companions though. Hopefully there is time for that to change. Tunthas, I will check out the Museum of Modern Music soon, located in Frankfurt, themed around the electronic music scene in Frankfurt back in the days. That does sound interesting, as Yoshidi.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
Beautiful stuff. There we go. It's Selka that kind of loses out. Essays tackled, falls straight into the path of Rashidi. We've got lucky, but we're 1-0 up. Jonas Omlin could do nothing about it. It's a good start. A good start so far. Yeah, that sounds quite fun. Sounds interesting. As I said, it's not really my scene, but it definitely should be an interesting day out. Just had an idea to the several draws. What's the idea, Night of Knee? Alphaville, forever draw. A song for every draw result. There we go. There we go. Right, injury. So in comes Tubek. I hope that's not a long-term injury. DM Bassist, so you've got that and Warhammer Rogue Trader on Game Pass, so I'll likely give them both a look at this weekend in between some football and mini painting. That sounds like an incredible weekend lined up. Right, SA finds Rashidi. Rashidi's shot is over. That was a lovely exchange. It's tipped over by Omlin, in fact. It's a lovely exchange there between Rashidi and SA. I do like that so far. So, yeah, SA seems to have been quite good in this role more centrally. I'm liking this so far. So Silver says, I literally gasped when Rogue Trader came on Game Pass. Absolutely going to play 40k Rogue Trader after Avowed. Sounds marvellous. Gruder with a horrible challenge. There is no place in modern football for that haircut. Look at that. Disgraceful. A beer. Nürnberger does him for fun. Disgusting. Disgusting. So Night of Knee says that's totally the issue. Even a rock metal guy like himself remembers rhythm as a dancer or Mr. Vane. Like that's what you want from a pop song. It's 2-0. There's no offside there, is there? It's an own goal from Andy Juff. There we go.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
So it did take a pretty big deflection. I thought Skitter's shot looked like it was on target. Give the lad the goal. Give the lad the goal. Robbed. Right, Skitter with a free kick. Runs through to Avia. Another good save from Omlin. He's having a decent game, to be fair. Nothing really he could have done about either goals. Nürnberger with the corner. Sends it in. Headed away. We will be changing. I'll probably do that off stream, to be honest, as I go through and analyse a little bit. But, yep, so first half, generally speaking, doing all right. By all reviews, 40k is a modern classic, just overshadowed by Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, everything got overshadowed by Baldur's Gate 3, to be fair. Dembele says your back is still playing up and you're skint, so other than a brief walk around the park in the morning, it's a great excuse to spend the weekend doing absolutely nothing but games, paints, and football. That sounds incredible, to be honest. Not the being skint bit and the back hurting, but everything else. That sounds incredible without those reasons impacting it. So we got away with that one, and Jai's headed on, and then it was offside, so that's fine. Right, I'm going to snooze those ads which are coming up shortly. Right, so Silver, Owlcat did make one of the greatest TRPGs in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, so no surprise there. They could very well be the next Larian Studios. High praise indeed. High praise indeed. Right, so Can Damn Plan, welcome in. Thank you very much for the... Oh, that should have been 3-0. Thank you very much for the follow, my dude. I will hydrate. Thank you, DMB. And Out Farby, we will play the mystery mini game. After this game, we have ads which are going to be coming up in a few moments. So after this game, we'll pop into the ads. I'll take my break and then we'll come back and play the mini game if that's cool. Yeah, we should be 3-0 up, I reckon, but we're not necessarily that dominant. So let's go with I think that you can improve. Let's keep the pace high, but we're now going to start playing wider, a little bit more conservative with our play, because we want to tire them out. We want to dominate the ball as much as possible. We've got a man advantage, so if we can tire them out and then just wait for the cracks to open up, rather than potentially leaving ourselves exposed by trying to throttle them in the second half. So Night and he says, I know that and the jingles from instant coffee to be prepared with boiling water from my formative years. Before I've even had a coffee, good songs jingles get in your head even if they are not our jam. Indeed. It's an art, and that's why I think that genuinely I've reached that old man stage of being annoyed by modern pop music, because I don't think that it's got that same catchiness, right? It all feels very forgettable, and maybe that's just me being an old fuddy-duddy, but though I don't think of many songs. Like the last song I can think, big hit pop song that I'm aware of that I think of with a catchy hook, is that Billie Eilish song, Bad Guy, because it has that really memorable melodic lick that kind of sticks in your head. But that's not a good melody. It's not a good vocal melody. And her songs, generally speaking, tend to be nursery rhyme melodies, which is an interesting approach. It clearly has worked, but I've noticed a lot of the songs, they're all very basic, slight ascending, slight descending. It's an interesting I should look into it a little bit more, for sure. Yeah, modern pop is weak, and I'm 27, says Silver, as we look to make it 3-0. Nuremberger now, can he send it in to Selke? Selke can't get there. There was some excellent analysis on modern pop music on YouTube. Essentially, a lot of the modern pop music is all written by the same few songwriters and producers using the same mythology, so it all sounds the same indeed. Johnson, that's most certainly not just you being old. I'm 17 and agree completely. DM Bassist is absolutely not, though. Whilst modern popular music might not be great, there's some fantastic music being made if you want to look for it. I don't doubt that at all. I mean, I am talking specifically here about pop music and there was definitely some amazing music being made. I'm not going to deny that. There's always amazing music being made. It's just more, what I'm finding in terms of the stuff that is being promoted, I don't think is going to be remembered that favourably. Like, in 20 years' time, I don't think... What's that song? The Sabrina Carpenter one, the Espresso song. I don't see that being sung 20 years down the line. All right, Selka's not having a great game, so on comes Stefanov. On comes Garrido. Bring Garrido on here. Swing Brooks out wide. So maybe we are a bit like Statler and Waldorf. Yes, very much. Very, very much. Right, Lukmar says, you are clearly listening to the wrong artist then. If it... So Hainu is just completely on modern music is generally shit. I definitely won't agree with that, I'm afraid. Like you do have to look in specific areas. I mean, okay, so my problem is when I talk about modern music, Rashidi hits the post again. My idea of modern music is probably still 10 years old, to be honest. I am that so far out of touch. So I am very wary of that when I say stuff. Right, Clinton to come on. Brooks is tired now as well, so that change is going to be Guy playing as an inverted wingback, Skitter to stay wider. Something like that. It does mean we've made all our substitutions before the 70th minute, which we're certainly going to regret at some point. Right. Only World War I themed melodic thrash. That's a choice. Right, Eunice says, so on average, a team in the Bundesliga needs 35 points to avoid relegation, based on in real life's last 5 seasons. I think 40 points are enough for your Darmstadt, and we are close. So Eunice, I think we don't even need that much. We looked through it at the beginning of the stream. So in the first season, 36 points was needed. The second season in game, 35 points were needed. Every other season after that in game, you needed less than a point a game. So I think that if we can get to that 35 point mark, we would definitely be safe. But yeah, I think even if we get to just 32, we're probably safe. So fingers crossed. I'm back. Did Musterman talk about Billie Eilish? I did. Silver is a fan of Snarky Puppy. Okay. Snarky Puppy's the one with Michael League, isn't it? I've got a lot of... There's Linson with his first goal of the season.
Stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Stand, the goals are here.
There we go. Linson getting in the right areas. That's what we needed for him. Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Michael League as a basis to someone who understands space and not overplaying. Oh, I'm going to upset people here. I'm going to upset people here. I do apologise, Silver. I do apologise, Knight of Knee. But it is Muzak. It is definitely Muzak. And don't get me wrong, right? I love a bit of Muzak at times. I love Steely Dan, which are kind of like my outlier from my rock preferences. Guy hits the outside of the post. That's the third time we've hit the post today. But yeah, like Snarky Puppy might be better called Smug Puppy, I think. So Hainu's going for the base that the Buskers are a good measure. Never hear them play anything recent. El Norby, that's that Me Espresso. That is the worst lyric I've heard in a pop song for at least probably like 2 years, to be fair. Yeah, 10 years ago, 1995. That was 10 years ago, indeed. So yeah, my strongest suit for music is the late 90s, but I was still listening to new music 10 years ago. Here Lies Man, a band that I quite like. I think they hit the scene like 10 years ago. Never made it big, but yeah, I'm just that's just what I consider new because I haven't advanced beyond there. Yeah, I seen a top 10 list the other day and only heard of 2 of the artists on it. Arctic Monkeys and Hosier are also really good, says Silver. We can't consider them modern music though, surely, can we? like when was Take Me to Church is like got to be, that's over 10 years ago, right? Arctic Monkeys have been around for a long time now. So what's Muzak? Like the music you'd hear in, yeah, thank you, Crodmo, indeed. It's what I would also kind of say as well is it's like it's elevator music that's also kind of knows itself to be like, it's like, cool, we've got this cool little inversion here. It's very theoretical music. So pretty decent result. They were down to 10 men. That red card came straight after the own goal as well. Harsh. But I'm not going to complain. We need the wins.
Wait for SV Darmstadt, spam the goal in motion. You can feel it every week. Mustard Dogs rejoices, free your mind and join us. Gonna win the fucking league.
Wow. We were into the top 6. That's not going to last. Let's be fair, that's not going to last, but that is quite crazy. Schiffer will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. No reason to make him play through the injury. No reason to send him to the physio. What's the advantage? You're not going to have a recurring fractured wrist, right? Surely, that's not something. We'll send him to the specialist, but that feels like it's not necessarily necessary. Right, get them rested up. It's going to be Tubeck in for the game against Bayern Munich next. A home game against Bayern Munich. Nice and easy. I can't see us having any trouble there whatsoever. So dear basis, you decided early today when it came on the radio that King of Rock and Roll by Prefab Sprout is the song that annoys me most of all time. Old time rock and roll, that kind of music just soothes the soul. Says FMG&G indeed. Right, wank mate, wank. It's not an instruction. Oh, I was getting excited there. So Dim Bassist doesn't mind Cars and Girls by Prefab Sprout. It's just King of Rock and Roll. I suppose that's fair. Chris Norton Walker's going for a bit of Chaz and Dave. I mean, that's a choice. That is definitely a choice. Alright, let's be real. MC Musterman is the actual goat of music. Pina Colada is stuck in my head. Definitely not the goat of music. Oh god, do you like Brian Kalula? Yeah, that was particularly bad. The bops are here in the Musterman stream. I subscribe because of his songs. I have to question your taste. I'm sorry, Silver. So, do Ulver count as modern music? They've been around since the early 90s and still release new stuff I enjoy. I don't think they can count as new music. I mean, like, I'm a massive Pearl Jam fan. They're still releasing new stuff. They had a new album just last year. There is no way that I can convince a single person that they are anything other than old music. So, right, okay, guys. We have the ads coming up now. So we're going to go on an ad break for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'm going to refill my drink, do all that malarkey. When we come back, we're going to play a mystery mini game. And then we've got the game against Bayern Munich. Fun times. I'll see you guys in about 3 minutes. We're back, and it's Friday, and you know what Fridays are about. Fridays are for DILFs, and Fridays are for hard rounds of Only Connect. So we definitely need to move to a little bit of Only Connect next, which I will explain in a moment for those that aren't familiar with it. But first, I want to respond to Lukmar. He's asked, what do we think about Nathrak? I've not heard of them, I'll be honest. And as to do I enjoy Anil? I mean, it's not something for the first date, but you know, down the lines, no, I'm not familiar with Anil either. I'll be honest. Like Crudmo, my music knowledge is stuck in the 90s. I'll be unfortunate to say. That said, though, Silver, I am familiar with Bloodywood. I've had a couple of colleagues, well, former colleagues now, recommend them, and I'm probably going to sit on the same place as DM Bassist. Not necessarily a fan, but I do think it's fun and exciting. Certainly the kind of band that I'd want to see live, but not necessarily ever listen to otherwise. Yeah, let's head on into the game, and let's explain how Only Connect works. You're going to see 4 pictures of players, one after the other. They share a common connection. It's your job to work out what that connection is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get, and you end up on that lovely little scoreboard down there. Now, that connection might be something really straightforward, like they've all played for the same team, or, pardon me, they've all played under the same manager. Sometimes, though, it can be a little bit more abstract. So we've had things like footballers that have gone to jail, or players with colours in their names, or what's some other of the more obviously players that have played professionally other sports, things like that. And on Friday, we tend to focus a little bit more on the abstract. So let's head on in and see the very first clue. And that first clue is this fella here. And that gives me a chance to catch up a little bit on the chat there as well. So DM Bass isn't a fan of the electronics used, that's fair, more or the gent style. Likes a bit more thrash, power metal, mellow death. They're fair shouts as well. So DM Bassist was out of going to see Leprous when they were in Bratislava a few years back. Dandelions by Ruth B has been stuck in my head for a few weeks. It just hits for me. That's fair. That's fair. To Silva, I'm a filthy casual in music among my friends for sure. So Johnson says, for me, it's been Mark Knopfler's Local Hero. Just randomly starts playing in my head. Not a bad song. Not a bad song to have stuck in your head. Right, so we've got some guesses coming in now. We've got, have they worked the odd shift at McDonald's? Quadmos points out this is Flamini. And so is it that they've won the Papa John's trophy? Is it that they've made more money outside of football than in football, or started their own company, which is a fabulous guess as well? Is it that they're businessmen, property developers, eco-entrepreneurs, millionaires, but not with football? You're all going down the same lines. I can tell you it is not that, I'm afraid. Let's move on to the next player. One of my favourites to include in Only Connect. This is probably like the 3rd or 4th time I think he's appeared in this list with the exact same photo. It is indeed, as Quadmo points out, Claudio Canigia. Canigia? So is there anything that links Claudio Canigia and Matthew Flamini? Not necessarily players that you'd consider at the same time as one another. Is it Coke? Coca-Cola, I'm assuming you mean. What would be the link there? What would be the... I don't know about. Is there a Coca-Cola link? I genuinely don't know. So Silver's got Cupid's Chokehold by Gym Class Heroes as a song you'll randomly get a craving for. Not the original, not the Supertramp song. So Paku's welcome in, by the way. You've gone for players who gets red card after diving in the penalty box. I like that idea. It's not that, I'm afraid. Eunice has gone for 2 L's in their names. Matthew Flamini. Or is that 2 I's in their name? Yeah, because Flamini only has 1, so it must be I's. It's not that, but I like the thoughts. Is it the dirtiest tacklers in football? Something makes me feel, Zerachal, like you might have a particular distaste to one of these players because of a tackle they've made. So you didn't mean Coca-Cola, and if any lawyers are listening, I do not suspect Flamini is guilty of anything of the sort. Fair enough. So were they part of an international tournament squad but didn't play a game? I like that. Can't see Roman Eremenko. Yeah, if he's next, that would be the clue. Is it that they played with Arteta? Zerachal has gone for that as well, both Greavesy and Zerachal. Have they named a child after a former teammate? These are all fine guesses. We're not right, unfortunately, I'm afraid. But there are some fantastic guesses in there. We've got this guy up next. This guy plays for the greatest team in the world currently. So we've got Rashford, indeed. So do they all have drum rudiments in their names? What are you going for there? They don't. But I'd love to know what they are. We've got the Flam. I can get that. What's in Canigia? Yeah, the Flam. Is there one in? So is a Canigia and the Rash. Right, we're going for the Rash. That's fair. So is it that they have their own clothes brands? Is it that they're named with a tree in it? So we've got Ash in Rashford, indeed. I don't know if there are in the other ones. So they all played with Robin van Persie. Have they all either played or wish they'd played for Rangers? That's an interesting guess there. Greavesy has gone for car brands in their names. Out Farby's gone for all won some sort of award for non-football stuff. Crudmo is poo-pooing Dean Basis's claim that he wished they played for Rangers. I mean, look, Canidia played for Dundee, so there are wilder things there. Could it be that their brothers are or were their agents? Some very, very fine guesses in there, and there is a correct answer. And I think that if we show the very last one, we know which one is the correct answer, because the last player here is Keisuke Honda. Probably the most obvious one of them all there, because it is right. It is absolutely right there, Greavesy 16. Fabulous work. They all have cars in their names. We've got the Matthew Flam Mini. We've got the Audi Yo Canigia. We've got Marcus Rashford. And we've got Keisuke Honda. Fabulous work there. Incredible, Greavesy. Beautiful stuff. Bam comes in with the applause, as the Zerachal. DM Basis comes in with the old fuck off. I mean, come on, DMB. You know this is what Fridays are like. You know what this is Fridays like. Medical Car is disappointed or shocked even he didn't get that one. It's a classic Friday only connect, it is. Zerachal, but that was lame. Unfollowing. You need to be around for more Friday only connects. These are what they're about. These are what these are all about. It's peak dad joke territory, absolutely. Applause coming in from Medical Car, from Paku, from El Norby. Was desperately looking for the link to Canigia. Indeed, it's in his first name. It's Audi. Audi was the link there. Lookmar, why do I even bother paying attention? Do you know what makes it worse, Lookmar, as well, is that I deliberately chose a word game one that was international, because those car names are the same in every country as well. So Night of Knee, you drove that one home. Beautiful stuff. Friday approved. Right, let's get back to the action. We've already dropped out of the top six as the weekend games. We've still got a week to go until the Bayern Munich game. You mock me, and yet I can't help but continue to love you. I don't mock you. I don't intend to mock you, DM Bassist. Purely a case of just saying, oh, fuck off. You knew what was coming. You knew what was coming. Ooh. Oh, the youth players. Okay. I thought they'd just sent players on a break. The youth players on a break. That's absolutely fine. No concern there. I was about to go wildly mad. So I'm with DMB and his Black Chord Death Melodic Fantasy Metal on this one. That's fair. I like a little bit of. I like some of the big four when it comes to thrash, because they're generally mostly melodic. That said, I think seeing Anthrax live definitely put me off them a little bit. Do I like that melodic? Because I'm also a big Motorhead fan, and I don't think you could really call anything that Lemmy did being melodic. To be fair, it's not shouty, but you're not calling that a melody, that's for sure. So no, Crudmo, you've been nothing but lovely to me. That's why everyone loves Crudmo. Freiburg are leading 4-0 against Werder Bremen. Crazy. Slayer was goated. Indeed, but again, the more melodic stuff, 100%. You know, the nice songs, the songs about, you know, the really happy subjects like South of Heaven. Hear that? Look, Mark, everyone loves Crudmo. Everyone loves Crudmo. I mean, I've got to be careful because now I'm feeding the Crudmo and that's a bad sign, but everyone loves Crudmo. And El Norby, am I interested in taking the Dioscure managerial job? Did it go bad tonight? What was the final score? Everyone loves Crudmo as a new sitcom you're launching. Interesting. So you've seen them all live in Poland in 2010. Great vacations, musical success. Marvellous stuff. I did go off Pantera after the Phil Anselmo vulgar display of white power. But yeah, like I like Anthrax. I like Anthrax recorded. I still like Metallica. Still like Slayer. Still like Megadeth. But yeah, Pantera have ruined themselves. I would never want to see Anthrax live again. Bless them. And maybe that's unfair. Maybe that was just one bad performance, and actually, you know, they'd be fine if I went to see them again. 33 viewers, and here I am talking about masses. Indeed, a whole 30. See, even just saying that's dropped it down. So Anthrax are probably my least favourite of the four. I'd switch them with Testament. Fair. South of Heaven is a great euphemism. It is. Anselmo is a wank. I agree. He's a white supremacist wank. Exactly. Which is a shame because, Vulgar Display of Power as an album, brilliant. Him as a human being is enough that I don't play them anymore. Just every song has been removed from any playlist that I have. I don't want to entertain it. Right, here we go. A 4-3-3. That means we go back into this setup. Again, we don't need him marking an attacking midfielder because there isn't one. We've got our full strength squad. Selke, Skitter playing up front. We're going with the... We're going to start on balanced. We're going to drop that down. We've been pretty good defensively on balanced. So we'll start that way and then maybe look to go attacking a little bit later. Here we go. Not even he says if we don't get relegated, you could do seasons in the Bundesliga. I love it. And I think we might be getting there. We might be able to do that as well. Are Ratma considered rock, punk? Random thought I had just now. Ratma are almost their own category. That's fair. I think so. Rage are definitely alt rock, right? I think alt rock would be. I know that's such a catch-all term, but they sit in that weird place where they're not anything that kind of fits really. Right, Rashidi, can he do something here? He's going to play it back to Mbamba. Bamba finds Tubeck to Brooks. Brooks takes aim. Hagstrom with the save. Hagstrom is their goalkeeper. I have no idea who he is. Right, Sule's standing over the free kick. Takes aim. Sahinovic with a great save. And Dortmund with, yet again, running up the score early on, destroying Freiburg right now. Stiller's going to take the corner. Swings it in. Bamba. I hope that was Bamba being beaten to the ball by Mbamba. A Bamba duel would be nice. Habib Diarra swings it out. Harry Kane still going at the ripe old age of must be 36. Sule takes a shot. Sahinovic saves. If these guys encouragement. It does appear that Bayern are warming into it. It's another free kick from Sule into the wall this time. Musiala gets to the second ball, swings it in, over hits the cross. So I guess you could lump them in with nu metal, but it's probably not quite as simple as that. Bands who accidentally gave birth to nu metal. I mean, that sounds like an Only Connect round, right? Right. We are under pressure. And to respond to being under a pressure, we're going to attack. We're going to see if maybe we can relieve it that way. Because on a balanced mentality, we're certainly getting overrun. Habib Diarra forces another save from Sahinovic. I wish maybe I'd gone for focus rather than encourage. So Tim C once apologised for Rage Against Me having introduced nu metal to the world. As he should. As he should. Right, Silver is off now. Good night and good luck. Thank you very much for dropping on by, my dude. Have a lovely evening. Right, so Night of Nice says, at one point I've had the first 30 seconds of the instrumental from Dimmu Borgir's Progenies of the Great Apocalypse as a ringtone for your ex. Oh, that's harsh. That is harsh. Right, we have a corner. It's our chance now. Nürnberger gets it at the second time, swings it into the far post. Rashidi is beaten by Stiller in the air. Avia to Mbamba. Beck's going to play it back out to Rashidi again. Rashidi's just running all over the place and shooting from wherever. El Norby, it was a 4-0 loss against the team who didn't score in their last 3 games and lost against the last place team 5-0. Now MTK are in the 4th place. I love the Hungarian league. That is rough. That is very, very rough. Oh man, that's not. Thank God. So think of it. Let's think of it in the positive. It's ruined your Friday so that it's not happening earlier on a Saturday to ruin your Saturday. We've now got the whole weekend to forget about it, hopefully. So Werder have lost 5-0, weekend done. That's rough as well. Oh, big score lines. Love Rage, but then I'm in the right demographic. I like Rage. I do have just one issue. Granted, it wasn't Rage. It was Audio Slave. I'm sure I've told you this before, but their encore song being Audio Slave doing Killing in the Name of, and extending the fuck you, I won't do what you tell me bridge, kind of doesn't hit as well when they are specifically making sure they wrap up their song to comply with local licensing laws. Like, do that and then play a gig for another 3 hours. That would be amazing. I'm delighted with that first half. I am delighted with that first half. We are completely and utterly under the cosh, which is fine. We went to more attacking, and they've only had like one chance since, which is brilliant. We are going to lose this game, I'm pretty certain. But we're not going to get absolutely... Well, we might still. We could quite easily lose the second half 5-0. I'm going to tell you that I think you can do better. Let's pop back. Let's just have a look at the heat map. They're building up a lot down the right-hand side. So... Oh, no, not that one. That button there. I'm thinking of doing this. Now, Skitter can't play that role, so we'll swap those guys round like so. Now I think we're good. Just to give us a little bit more protection on that flank. As I say, I'm not expecting us to score, so... there we go. So, right, Zeratul, is a band coming if I say Hollywood metal is the greatest? No, not at all. What is Hollywood metal? That's my main question. So the most of the music, or a lot of the music I love, most came out years before even I was born. That's fair. Right, Dean Based, I love it. He told the story of him taking Walter Smith to see them one time. It's great. He's a big Rammstein fan too. I wouldn't have imagined that. So all was good for several years, and then the great apocalypse ensued. I mean, it fits. It fits. Right, Sahinovic gets it cleared. Johnston with a follow-up shot. It's blocked by Brooks. Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Let's remind the guys to focus. Now we will look to make the change. The change is going to be Essa comes back into that spot because Skitter is tiring. Linson comes on. Brooks is tiring as well. So that means we bring on Mousehound. We make those swaps there. Just 15 minutes to hold on. Zel Norby, this stream is my happy place. That's what we hope to do. That's what I hope to do. Great to hear. Okay, so Andre Brooks, who would be our backup left back, is now off. So that means Guy can come on as inverted wing back. We're going to put Essa back out wide now as a winger, so we've still got width on that side. Cross to the far post. We are in time-wasting territory now. In fact, time-wasting and stop overlapping territory. It's been like, yeah, we've kept them under 1xg so far, which is obviously great. I expect it'll pop up above that before the game is up. But we've got to be proud of our efforts so far. Musiala back to Bamba. Across to Upamecano. We're asking a lot of Selke there to cover ground as the single striker. Mousehound intercepts though. Back to Tubek. Rashidi counting inside. Plays it back. Is the pass on for Schmidt? He can find Linson, who leads to Rashidi. Rashidi's going to send it back into Linson. Tubek to Mousehound. To Linson. Linson creates some space. Linson!
Don't stand, scoring like no tomorrow. Don't stand, the goals are here.
What the actual fuck? What the actual fuck? Linson just turns and nobody expects it. Fires it in at the near post. Hagstrom's got to be disappointed with that. He's got to be disappointed. We have one substitution left, and that substitution is coming, and it's going to come for Rashidi. No, we have two substitutions left even. Oh no, because we've already bought Guy on. So Mbamba is the player coming off. It's going to be Garrido on. In as a more conservative role. No, as a more ball-winning role. Run out there and run around like a crazy motherfucker. And then the final change is going to be Davy Selke off just because he's tiring. We're up to time waste. That's absolutely fine. Here we go. Here we go. Lookmar asks, what's his flair? I think Linson's quite good for flair. I know it's Skitter who's got elite flair. It's just good. Right, here's Gajic. Into injury time now. Finds Johnston. The referee's given a penalty. That was outside the box. That was outside the box. Surely. Surely. It's always outside the box. It's always outside the box. Every single time that's outside the box. Wow. Wow. I don't think I've seen. I genuinely don't think I've seen a penalty where it goes to VAR and it says it was, they're checking whether it is inside or outside the box. I don't think I've seen it given as a penalty. Gajic here tries to play it inside. Here's the run from Johnston. Johnston. Can we get that view better? That's the behind goal. Vertical scrolling. Zoom. It looks like he might be inside the box. Where is the challenge? I can't zoom in anymore. That might well be a penalty. That looks like a penalty. There we go. Heartbreak. Oh, no. Okay. Here's the Stefanov, loses out. Bamba, Musiala has a chance. Gajic is in behind. Gajic hits the post. It's off Sahinovic. We get it out for a throw-in. Coach the guys last minute. Johnston to Gajic. Back to Johnston. Back to Gajic. They're causing us trouble down this left-hand side. Saved. It's saved. Just kill time now. Just kill time. Now there should be longer. There was a penalty given in injury time. So I do expect another 30 seconds or so. Gajic out to the right. Oh. Oh, well, that's a shame, hey? That's a shame. So, Eunice, that mouse-hound inception was crucial. It was. Set up a huge, huge moment for us. And I'm delighted. I expected us to lose the game. Like, we didn't generate much. And Bayern, without that penalty, would have just generated over 1 XG. So I can't complain too much. Even if that is the first time I've seen that happen. And it is heartbreaking to concede a penalty in the 92nd minute. Ah, well. We've proved a lot of people wrong just by avoiding defeat. Absolutely. So there's still one game until the halfway point, and we're on 24 points, which is sensational. Frankfurt can jump above us if they win their game in hand. But for us to be in 7th at this stage is incredible. Nuremberg is going to be out for 3 weeks, but our next game is 3 weeks away. Perfect, right? Let's give these guys a bit of rest. Clear that all out. So let's have a look at what the stats are saying right now. So we, generally speaking, are pretty average, just below average in shots, just below average in shot accuracy. Our passing's good. Our tackling is average. We're underscoring our XG, and that is below average. We are under conceding against our XG against, and that is amazing. That is amazing, 0.87 XG against, which is marvellous. We face the second least shots per game, so we are solid. We've got a really, really solid base. And could you imagine how good this team could be if we had like really good players up front? Like SA's been marvellous. Schalke is marvellous as well. But like they're not well beaters. And so we can see we're below average attacking wise, really, really good defensively. I'm really happy with where we're at. The XG table says that we are where we deserve to be. So the third best XG against, just behind Bayern and Leipzig. That's now leveled out, which is cool. We're underscoring our XG. We don't create that much. That's fine. 10 clean sheets already for Sahinovic. Scored 15, conceded 13 in 16 games. Yeah, this is good. It's ugly. It's ugly, but it's good. Look, Mar, the disrespect on that penalty as well. I mean, to dink it down the middle like that. I mean, it is certainly a bold strategy. But yeah, I think I'm really, really pleased. Rashidi's probably got to be in line for a new contract right now. Because even though, so he's XA is 3.83, so 6 assists. You know, players are taking chances that they shouldn't do from his chance creation. So that does look inflated, but still 3.83 XA is pretty damn decent for anyone really. So he's probably in line for a contract. I think I'm pretty happy with Skitter at the moment. Both Skitter and Essa are doing fine. Vincent's not been so great. Value in at about 7 million at the moment, so hopefully we can get him into some form. Sims is going to be back soon. Yeah, we're doing good. And on that very note, that is where we're going to end the stream, because we go into the winter break now. So our next game is on the 12th of January. So we can come back on Monday, do some transfer planning, see what's going to happen on that side of things, and then hit into the second half of the season, where we have 18 games, so probably 9 games per stream, to see how we close it all out. Right.